hello, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whether you are working or resting right now, I hope you are well. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. We are reaching the end of the week, almost at weekend. I hope you have been doing well this week. If not, I hope you get a good rest this weekend. Another episode of Nova Talks here today. Like the very first episode, today is not gonna be about 3 separate topics. Rather, the topics that I set up for myself for today are feeding off of each other. So it's gonna be one big yapping, rambling, fangirling kind of thing. I look at the temperature announced for my city. It says 20 degrees Celsius. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. I am much too cold for it to be just 20 degrees C. But yeah, as I have been doing these last few days, I am a human burrito, keeping myself warm. I hope you are keeping yourself warm if the weather is cold where you are, and keeping yourself as cool as possible if the weather is hot. Okay, so today we are going to yap about gacha games. Of course, I will have to talk about the gacha game, the one that got me into the gacha ecosystem. Not that I have played many gachas in the past, nor do I necessarily intend to play many of them. But yes, of course, I will talk about it a bit and make a lot of comparisons with this game. Because we have to. We have to. It has become the gacha game, has become the reference, so I have to do it like this. Yes, so Genshin Impact. So many things to say, but I've already said a lot of things. Hello, mods! Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. I got into Genshin Impact because of my brother. My brother got me into a lot of things, Genshin Impact included. It was, I think, it was something like he finished Nier Automata. He got into Honkai Impact Food, and then Genshin Impact was announced and he tried it out. I was mildly interested because there was an option for us to play together, which is something that I haven't seen done in modern games much anymore. Like when we were kids, we used to play together on split screen. That was even then those games were rare. Not that I had the opportunity to play that many games when I was younger, but the fact that I could have the opportunity to play with him did pique my interest. Still, I was just mildly interested, like, yeah, maybe. And then I discovered that my favorite voice actor, Maino Tomoaki, my favorite seiyuu, my number one, was voicing one character in the game. And I was like, okay, I'm going in. And I went in completely blind. I didn't know anything about gacha games back then, and it was my very first experience. And Genshin had this whole, even today, they have an indecent amount of marketing. And they were like, oh, open world RPG. And I was like, okay. For me, open world, when you tell me the word open world RPG, I think The Witcher 3, I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think those kind of games. And I was like, yes, sure, yeah, I'm in. And yeah, sure, it was pretty nice at the beginning for like the very first month. It was wondrous. Plus, the thing is, I could play it for free. Completely free. There was no money out of my pocket, and I could play it with my brother. And then disillusion set in really quick. I think I I started to just be, oh, there he is, there's my Notomogi. I think I just started to be like, yeah, it's fun, but I've already run out of things to do in a month. And I remember seeing people saying things like, no, but you shouldn't try to finish everything in a month. That's your fault. The game has content. It's not just meant to be done in a month. And I'm here like, yeah, but like, I think that is the first thing. I went in not knowing what gacha games were like, and the thing is, a gacha game is purposefully being gimped because a gacha game is a way to earn indecent amount of money first and a game second. Sometimes it's not even a game, honestly. So the solution setting's very hard, and nowadays I see them as what they are. Like, okay, you can have a bit of entertainment and amusement and fun, just a tiny bit from time to time, but it really is offering you what the price tag has. The price tag is 0. Hi Basil, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. The price tag is 0. There is nothing. This is like it's you lucky to have anything in the game. It literally is free. And honestly, I personally consider them as legal scams because dropping money in them, what does it bring you? Just a new character? Okay, if you really want, but like it doesn't offer you more content. We could argue, okay, but the new character is new content, yeah, whatever. But honestly, especially in these games, you can have the characters if you are patient. But then again, playing for, I think I might have been playing for something like 2.5 years. Did I go into 3 years? Like, I did take breaks more often the more time passed. All of that, even with Maino Tomoaki voicing my one favorite character in the game, in any game actually, John Lee has become my favorite character in any game ever. But still, that's not enough. Was it a few weeks ago I saw someone playing Genshin? They were still at the very beginning, like in the Inazuma arc, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna open the game. I opened the game. John Lee greeted me and I was happy to see him. Hi! I was happy to hear the voice of my very favorite voice actor. And then I was like, oh yeah, but there's nothing to do in this game. I opened it and then I closed it. And that's it. Like, I find it a waste because games like Genshin Impact have a lot of potential, but they will never ever live up to it. Why? Because they make an indecent amount of money with the bare minimum. They are getting praised for doing the bare minimum. Of course they're not gonna do anything more. So I lost any hope in Genshin Impact being anything better. And I was very much interested in seeing what the newest gacha game that is in the same subgenre would do. And of course, I'm talking about Wuthering Waves that released 2 weeks, was it 2 weeks ago? I had a lot of, well, no, not a lot of expectations, but I had some bit of hope for it to at least pick up a bit of the things that I find lackluster in Genshin. And yeah, so far it has been pretty promising because yeah, well, first, one of my biggest grievances with Genshin was the what's it called? Was the story? I was not expecting Wuwa to to pick up on that slack. Honestly, that would be unreasonable. I think. Why? Because I don't know. I think that's on you if you you are hoping to find a good story in a gacha game. I haven't. Like I said, it's not like I've played many gacha games. But I haven't found any gacha game that has any story that I would even categorize as good. Like, people have been praising Genshin so much, and I'm just here like, people, go towards other medias that have actual good stories. Raise your standards a bit more. I kind of want to do that, to say that. No! I cannot say that Genshin has a good... I'd be hesitant to use the word decent, much less good. No, it's not. Like, it started okay. Like, okay. It's just... the Mondstadt and the Liyue arcs were okay. Okay. They were decent enough because they were focusing on a set number of characters, and everything revolved around them. So the emotions that we were supposed to feel carried through because those characters were being fleshed out. Inazuma was a clusterfuck. I will never say it enough. That was oh my god, what is this? Just learn to write before you do anything, please. Oh my god, someone wrote a how do you call it? A bullet point fan fiction, and they just adapted that one on the screen. That's how I can describe the Inazuma arc. That was like, oh my god, no. And then Sumeru did the overcorrection of because the main gripe about Inazuma was, what the fuck is this pacing? Nothing breathes and lives. You put 50 characters in them. They serve no purpose. They're just there to be there so you can sell your banners. And then what the fuck is that? Where is this? Okay, everything is done and dusted. It's almost like everything was resolved out of screen. Like I don't know if anyone is ever gonna get this reference, but it's kind of like there were these rom-coms in the 90s playing on in French TVs, and I checked them out a bit, and it was really literally there was a big drama happening, and it got resolved off screen. And it was like that. Inazuma was like that. Like, you're trying to build up something big, and then it's just like a wet fart. Sumeru was overcorrecting because, like I said, the main gripe about Inazuma is that nothing breathed. In Sumeru, everything was dragging for too long. Like, oh my god, everyone was just it was exposition. It was like a Shyamalan movie. Exposition. Some characters had 90% of their dialogues just being exposition. Hey, again, learn to write and learn to execute the story. Oh my god. You copied everything from every other popular games out there. Can't you copy good stories? That copying is the best you can do. Copy it right then. Oh my god. What is this? Yes, this is a Genshin Flaming session, yes. And then Fontaine was actually kind of good. I say actually kind of good. But I actually kind of good as far as Genshin standards go. Like for me, it's still not that good, but as far as Genshin standards go, it was kind of good. Like everyone is actually fleshed out. The plot was coherent enough. Like the things that were happening were coherent enough. Okay. And it's like, oh, so you can do something like this. So you can actually do something a bit decent. You can actually do something that is a bit coherent. I guess they were flamed enough, maybe, so they actually tried to learn something. I don't know, but like every time I see some comments about that everyone is like, it's the extreme two spectrums. Like some are praising it to the gods, like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever that ever happened since electricity. I don't know. And the others are just hating for the sake of hating. And I think that just got a bit. It just went to their heads, like they are so fucking good. They don't need to listen to people's feedback. And on one hand, I understand, because if people's feedback is just as wild as that, like going from you can do no wrong to everything you do is wrong. What? But at the same time, that's your fucking job. It's literally your job. Just figure it out. Just figure it out. Oh my god. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't expecting much from the story of Wua. But actually, the last arc, the last chapter. I don't know how the fuck they call it. Like the first parts, I was like, and I think I started skipping really early on, and then I just skipped through stuff. But at the very last arc, they actually did something that I haven't seen done in Genshin. They made a decent attempt at portraying a crisis. Hey Sank, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. Why aren't your messages appearing? There's something wrong with my chat again. What is that game? I'm talking about Wuthering Waves. Right now I'm talking about Wuthering Waves, but it's mostly a Genshin Impact playing session. Like I said, yapping. So yeah, actually portraying crisis, which I haven't felt in Genshin at all. Like even when they were doing the Liyue arc. By the way, I'm spoiling, but like you're not really gonna. It's not really gonna change anything, honestly. You don't miss much. Hello boss, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. In Liyue, they tried to like portray a crisis, but like there were 5 people involved, one big tentacular monster, but like whatever. Like you didn't feel any sense of urgency. I didn't feel any sense of urgency, and I think on one hand it was supposed to be just a test, but for the test to be real, you know, the people had to feel like it was real. I don't know, but in any case, I never felt any sense of actual urgency, actual sense of there's an imminent catastrophe coming on the horizon in Genshin. Never. Whereas here in Wuwa, the very last act actually made a decent job at that, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, I didn't expect anything from it. I don't expect any good story from a gacha game. That is how low my standards have fallen for gacha games. I'd even go as far as I don't actually really consider them as games. Like technically they are video games. They could be so much better too. They could be so much more. They'll never be, because this is to make money. This is literally just to make money. And somewhere I think it's kind of worse, because you don't even have a chance to gain money from it. Although we could argue the fact that we're playing game to have fun, to unwind, and to entertain ourselves. Okay, it's in any case, it's your money. You do what you want with it, as long as it's not an addiction. I personally feel like, but I've really learned my lesson with Genshin. I go in, maybe a bit of fun, and just stop. Like, apart from Genshin, I've played on Myoji. I tried their Honkai Impact food thingy. I didn't vibe with it at all. I tried Punishing Grey Raven, however, which was made by the. Oh no! Wait, I've been watching the the other screen. Sunk is not even there. Okay. For them, we lose money. What do you mean? For who? For who do we lose money? I've played Punishing Grey Raven, which was made by the same developer as Wuthering Waves, as Wua. That is why I checked it out, because I really had fun with Punishing Grey Raven's combat. I really liked it. I didn't understand anything about it, but I really liked it. It was really fun. I had fun for the few times I played it. I didn't play it very much because I didn't like the grind. What's it called? Whatever. Like, since I didn't start playing from the beginning, it will take in a lot of farming to get one character up and running, which is the standard, but I wasn't necessarily very interested in that. I really liked the combat, and that is why I was interested in checking out Wua. Onmyoji was really fun too. It's more of a JRPG turn-based one. Onmyoji is older, and you can tell, okay, this was meant for mobile, but I really had fun playing it. Although, like any other gacha games, I just drop in for a bit, have fun, maybe play for a month or so, and just take a break again, dip out again. And then I tried, like I said, I tried Honkai Impact, which is the same genre as Punishing Grey Raven, but I really didn't vibe with that one. I wanted to check that one because I've heard good things about its story, but I couldn't go through it. Like, I didn't vibe with the combat. The characters were, oh my god. But I was told it really starts bad and then it becomes better. But I'm at that stage in my life, where I'm like, I don't have the patience to wait for something to get better. That is part of why I never got into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because if I have to wait for the 5th season for it to get better, no thanks, but no thanks. Okay, that's good. If it becomes better, that's good, but no, I don't have the patience to sit through that. The gacha game make money, and we lose money because we keep spending. I don't spend. Well, it's a give. Well, in any business, it's give and take. But I think it's up to each person to evaluate. Do I get my money's worth? I've evaluated that I don't necessarily with gacha games. I did drop a bit of money. I did drop a bit of money in Genshin back in the day when it was still like, when I was still foolishly hoping that it would get better. I bought a skin. That was the very first time I ever did something like that. And now I kind of regret it, not in the sense that I kind of regret showing support for that game, because it went in a direction that I'm really not happy with. The game has what, 3 years, 4 years now? I don't know anymore. And it's like, yeah, they added a bit of a few QLs here and there, but my main gripe with Genshin is that they made such an interesting and full of possibilities combat system to do nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. And that is why I say when I was playing My Time at Portia, they should have just made a My Time at Portia. You know, because they were like, oh, here's the teapot, here's fishing, here's card games. Like, just make it a game about living your life in Teyvat then, instead of making it like, oh, open world RPG. And also that open world thing. Like, I think like many games are just relying on the open world part to hope for people to stay hooked. One example I have in mind right now is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I heard it was the same problem and worse in the subsequent one. What was it? The one with the Vikings, the one that came afterwards. They made a gigantic map. Gigantic. But you do the same, like you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's the same over and 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 over again till we die. And it's like, yeah, but why? Plus, they are so indecently priced, for my opinion, for my humble opinion. They are indecently priced. Like, nowadays, a AAA game is like $70, which is, oh my god, what the fuck is that? But at the same time, I don't feel like it's justified. Like, I still remember a time when I was buying AAA games for like 50 euros. So more or less $50, I guess. Euros, because euros is the region my stores are usually. And from that time to this time, like it was just, I feel like it was just something like 5 years ago when I first bought my PlayStation 4. And from that time to this time, like, yeah, sure, the graphics are prettier, but I feel like we're at a stage where it's not that much of a leap, technologically speaking, anymore, that it justifies such a big leap in prices. And yeah, well, I don't have, like, it was something when it was 50 euros, dollars, whatever. Now I just can't imagine myself buying a AAA game anymore with the price, with the $70 price tag. Much less the Assassin's Creed bundles they are pushing that go for like 120 euros, something like that. Oh my god, yeah, but well, I didn't buy it for that price. It was back, I didn't buy Assassin's Creed Odyssey for that price. It was back when the COVID was at its highest and everyone was staying at home, so they offered it for a much lower price. I got the whole bundle for much lower. I don't even remember the price anymore, but maybe something like 30% of that. And I was very happy with my purchase back then, because I did spend a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I didn't spend a lot of hours on that game, but I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours on that game. And yeah, I mean, I spent a but I couldn't go back to it once I finished the first playthrough. One thing is the story was pathetic. The story was mediocre. Like, oh my god, another contender with miserable story writing and execution. And so there was nothing to keep me coming back to their huge open world. And I think there are many games that I don't know. I feel like there are many games nowadays that are using the RPG tag and the open world tag, just hoping that like it's all the rage, so people will come to you. But you have to put something in there. The world has to feel a bit alive, to give the illusion that it is lived in. You have to put something for the player to do. I think they're just relying too much on, oh look, the map is bigger than the whole of Europe in real life. Like, yeah, but what am I gonna do in that map? If it's just clearing up the same 3/4 over and over again, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Why did I even speak about Assassin's Creed Odyssey? The open world. Okay. And so, one of the things, like, one of my gripes with Genshin was the combat. They don't do anything with it. So I was hoping that WoWa would keep up the slack, and so far it has. Like, at the very least, the combat in WoWa is so much better. Feels so much better. And I have a hope that once I build a bit more of my gaming sense here, I will be able to go back to Devil May Cry 5 without as much shame as I was before. Because I'll never be good at Devil May Cry 5. You have to, like, to be good at Devil May Cry 5, you have to give it a lot of time to master the mechanics of each character. Dante being the hardest to master. He is Devil May Cry. But that will come in on its time. In any case, I feel like WoWa is hitting a good balance between being challenging and yet easy enough to pick up. I really like the feel of the combat and the possibilities it offers, and so I'm looking forward to what they will be doing with it. I know that there have been apparently many technical issues that I personally haven't encountered, so it's literally none of my business. I cannot judge it about the technical issues that I have not encountered. There was 2 days where the music didn't play out. I think they were fixing something and probably broke that, and then after 2 days it fixed. That's the only issue really that I encountered. Apart from that, I've had internet issues myself, so I cannot really judge if it's the game or it's just my internet. I think it's mostly just my internet. I haven't encountered any game breaking bugs since that moment when the game was the game music was the background music wasn't playing. That's about it. I know I've encountered a few bugs in Genshin Impact here and there when they were also fixing stuff. They were always fixing stuff after they released a patch. I think that's pretty that was pretty standard for them too. So I on the technical part, I really don't have anything to say. I really enjoy the combat. I didn't have any expectations for the story, but the very last arc was interesting and brought something that I had never felt in Genshin, which was the sense of urgency, the sense that there was something, there was a looming threat. And I liked the way they went about portraying it, and the way they, because like I said, I'm gonna spoil, but I think it's not really that important. I like the way they incorporated the gameplay incorporated the story into the gameplay. That is something that I think Genshin isn't doing much at all, and it being a game is absolutely not an excuse, because the game is your media. You should be able to tell a story using your media. You play around your limitations, you write around them. You don't just say, oh, yeah, but we can do this and that. I'm very passionate about storytelling because that is something that is very important to me. And when it is done in a mediocre way, especially when I see and know that it can be done in a good way, I absolutely am not forgiving about it. And I like how in Wuwa they kind of incorporated the gameplay and the story together. Because one of the things that they copied, and you shouldn't copy that from Genshin, honestly. The characters just standing around, emoting to each other. And you have to wait around for the whole animation to play. At least they gave an option to skip in Wuwa, and I've seen that they said that they were going to give an option to skip everything story-wise in future, which I salute. There are people that are not interested in the story at all, but are just interested in the gameplay. That is good. Like, if they are interested in the story, they'll stay there and listen to it and read it. Otherwise, yes, give an option to skip. Why is there an option to skip in Genshin? You have to stay there awkwardly. Plus, they block everything behind the story. You can't play because you have to finish the story. But your story is bad, at least if it was a good, a well-written and executed one. But it's not even! It's not even! Stop that! Stop that! So yeah, I have lost any hope that for Genshin to do anything better. So you have to turn to the competition. As a challenger, Wuwa has to do everything better, or at least to attract the people that were dissatisfied with some aspects of Genshin. And I think that they're doing it well. At least I myself find it much more interesting than Genshin. Like the gameplay, all the gameplay, the combat, the stuff that I found dissatisfying in Genshin are being kind of satisfied here. So we're looking forward to it. Well, looking forward is a big word. Like I'll probably get bored of the game, take a break, and go back after a few months. That's usually how it goes in gacha games. We'll see how it goes in Wuwa. I haven't yet taken a break, but it's just been 2 weeks. I mean, it bodes well. It bodes well for the game. I haven't dropped it yet. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that last arc was incorporating the storytelling with the gameplay. They made you use a party of trial characters. All of the trial characters were in the party were playing a role in the story, and they drop one by one. They stay behind one by one to take care of the threats, so that you end up at the boss. Basically, that's how it was. I'm usually not a fan of that kind of system. Like in Genshin, when I have to play as a trial character, usually I'm miffed because I'm not interested in that character most of the time, because there are very few characters I'm interested in Genshin. And so most of the time I'm like, stop that, I don't want to play this character. But that is because they are not making a good enough job of fleshing out the character to make it interesting at the very least. You know, I can accept no, not how you say it. I can not like a character but still see how they are, what they represent. You know, like if a character is fleshed out, I cannot like it but be fine with them being there, you know. But most of the time, characters in Genshin are just nothing burgers. Especially the girls that I really like. Yeah, I'm definitely not the target, I guess, for for how they are portrayed, but at the same time, man, why do we have to be just, I call them waifu checklists, because it's like they are just taking, okay, what are the characteristics that people that are interested in female characters in anime like. It's like that. It started with, what's her name again? I even forgot her name. There was that woman that released back in it was within the first year of Genshin. I think it was I don't remember, but I saw her trailer. She was dancing in it. That was like, okay, that came out of nowhere, but whatever. And then I played through her quest, and I swear I kind of exploded back then. I was absolutely. I felt it was insulting. Like, is this character really just? Does this character amounts to a waifu checklist? Oh, she has to be cute, but at the same time have a bit of a tsundere side, and at the same time have. Characters are reflections of people. Characters are interesting because you can relate to them, or they help you learn something. Like, honestly, why do you put so little in a character? Your character that you want to sell to. Like, maybe I just have too high of a standard, whatever. But I'm never gonna lower my standards if shit is what I get. So yeah, I remember it's like, oh my god. And then many of the female characters back then were like, whatever. That Nashida girl, the Archon of Sumeru. Ah, my god, they really wanted you to feel sympathetic. And so they shoved it in your face like, oh look, she's so, oh, she's being so mistreated, oh, but yet she's making so much sacrifices for her people. Like, you don't have to spell it like that. There's a reason why the rule is show, don't tell. Every time in Genshin, it's always just tell, never show. And have Paimon make a summary of it. I'm not saying that Uwa is necessarily better. Like I said, I even skipped the story until that last part. Hi Neo, welcome to the stream. Nice yapping. I am yapping so hard right now, my man. I am venting so much. This is a Genshin Flaming session. But, wow. It's a Genshin Flaming session because Genshin is the standard. It made itself a standard. And this standard is not a good one, let me say. But I guess since the bar is so low, it shouldn't be so hard to get it higher. Not that I expect any gacha game to be of a much higher bar. Still, I have some cautious hope for Wuwa, at least on the combat side, the gameplay side, and even on the story side. Just based on that very last arc, I'm like, there is a chance for you to be able to do something a bit decent. So we'll see how it goes. I didn't really pay much attention to PGR, Punishing Grey Raven's story. Punishing Grey Raven was the other game of the developers of Wuwa. But I remember I played during the collab with Nier Automata. Nier Automata. My brother is the one who really loves Nier Automata. I love it a bit less than him. Like, it's not one of my all-time favorites. Still, It's really good. It's really good. And I was like, yeah, if they are taking, if they are clearly taking inspirations from Nier Automata, from Devil May Cry, they are copying the best. So there's a chance for them to do something good. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I remember during the collab of PGR with Nier Automata, I kinda played a bit through the story during those events, and it was quite interesting. Like I retrieved that bit of there's a Nier taste here. There's a bit of a Nier taste. Just I read just I don't know, a few minutes of dialogues, and the emotions reached me. That is how writing should be. You don't need to do 3 hours of exposition for the people to understand the world. Like, you don't need to lay out the whole lore. Like one of my favorite YouTubers said, you don't need to expose the whole lore. Otherwise, Lord of the Rings would have been even more longer than it was. Do you know the whole lore of Lord of the Rings? No. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't appreciate the story. If anything, a story that is well written will make you curious about the lore. The lore is not everything. I think it's a bonus. Like, if your story is well done, then people that came to you to the story might get interested in knowing more about the lore, the world you built. But don't just expect people to just stay because I wrote 50 pages of lore, but I wasn't able to make a good story for it. Yeah, but no. Maybe there are people that are just interested in lore, which is perfectly legit. But I put the storytelling much higher than the lore. Like, Lord of the Rings is one of my most favorite movies, movie series of all time. And when I watch it, I'm like, oh, I'm mildly curious about some characters, how they became like that. But I've never gone out of my way to like check. Especially since now, like I said, I just don't have the time. Like, my time is much more precious, and so I choose the things I spent it in with much more care than when I was younger. And most of the time I feel like, no, that's not worth it. So I just don't go through it. Yeah, I'm mildly curious about why Denethor was like that, for example. But I've never gone out of my way to like find it out. Actually, I'm sure there's the Silmarillion, which is like expanding on the lore. I think never read it. Actually, did I ever read? I think I read A Lord of the Rings when I was younger, but I don't quite remember anymore. I'll have to go back. I want to go back to reading these things, but I don't know if I'll have the time. But yeah, like I see also stuff like, oh, Genshin has such an interesting lore. Yeah, whatever, but Genshin hasn't made me convinced about checking out its lore because it's doing a very sloppy job at telling its story. One of the other things I don't like about Genshin is how they have a fatui, you know, that they're trying to portray as the big baddies, but at the same time they kind of are sympathetic, you know, but they are never coherent about it because one time they are building them up as like, this is the biggest villains ever, and then they're making little sub quests that show you that no, they're just humans, you know. But in between and after that, your main character, I'm putting tons of quoting marks there because the main character in Genshin is not even a character. It's just a plot device. And it would have been better if they didn't put Paimon. Paimon is not even a character either. Paimon is there to disrespect you, to disrespect your intelligence, just as MiHoYo is disrespecting your intelligence with the game. They are spelling out everything, even the things that shouldn't be spelled out. It feels like they think you are stupid, and they want you to stay that way. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but the way they are making 3 pages of tutorials, and yeah, of course you don't quite understand whatever's happening because you are just overcomplicating things with your 3 pages tutorial. And then they like I said, they go and spell out everything. They have Paimon make a summary of what just happened 5 minutes ago, the 5 minutes ago that you were not able to skip anyway. I dislike games that are insulting my intelligence like that. They get that in Genshin they're trying to guide you by both hands and both feet. It's not the first nor the last game to do that, of course, but yeah. So, like I said, I don't have much expectations for Wuwa's story, but it would be good if he can do something a bit more decent, a bit more, just a tiny bit more decent than what Genshin did. That would already be been good. And since they take inspiration from some big great games, there's a chance. Maybe it's a low one, it's a small one, but there's a chance. We'll see how it goes. Also, on the subject of Wuwa being just a Genshin copy, first of all, like, Genshin was not copying every good game out there. Like, I said it in the overstream, but I think at this stage, like, first, I'm of the opinion that people can't be fully original. Like, our minds cannot make up things that are fully original. We just look around ourselves, take inspiration, and make something. And when everyone and everything has already been done, there's even less room for originality. I'm really not of the opinion that Wuwa is just copying Genshin. First and foremost, because Genshin was just copying everything and doing it less good. Let's say it as it is. Like, Genshin was just taking notes from every game that was kinda popular. Like, they took pages from Zelda Breath of the Wild, and all of it, like all the mini games they throw in their events. They take inspiration from other games that and just summarily barely scratching the surface just to give you 5 minutes of content. But Genshin was putting down the basis for like it's been the first, at least the first, to become popular about an open world gacha game. And so, of course, everything else that comes after that will be a Genshin copy, just like everything that came after Doom was a Doom copy, just like everything that came after. That's just ridiculous. You take inspiration from the reference, of course. This is Genshin has achieved okay, this is the good package. Of course we're gonna take inspiration from that. And then the fact that the UI is the same. Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's not a bad call, because having to learn a completely different UI, like, I think it's more like it becomes if we go from the from the fact that Genshin is a reference in the genre now. It's like how every other game that kind of looks like Sid Meier's Civilization. Like they use the same kind of mechanics, the same kind of UI, but they expand in things that Sid Meier's Civilization hasn't done, and that's what other games that come after Genshin has to do. I think it's just natural to go that route. And if you go in and you retrieve things that are similar, just basic things like UI, if you have to relearn everything, that makes it a bit less interesting to go in, you know? It's since this subgenre has already been kind of established now, you go in, you expect something that is similar. So if you try to like they say, is there really a need to reinvent the wheel? And I'm not saying that it's good to just stupidly copying stuff. You go in, you take inspiration, like, okay, you quote unquote copy, but you have to make it better. You have to expand on other things that the first one haven't expanded on, and that's what Hua is trying to do, I think, and that's what we should be doing. Honestly, if I think about all the games, like the games that are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I was like, yes, this is what Assassin's Creed Odyssey should have been. Everything is tight, but at no moment whatsoever through my whole playthrough did I think, oh, I've never seen this in another game. They just took a page from other games and made it better, made it good. Like this makes me think, okay, this is how it should have been. This is how it should have been made. This is the way. It makes me all the more salty that they didn't get the Game of the Year award, especially since the contender on the other side was the biggest disappointment of the decade, I swear. For reference, the game that had Game of the Year that year was The Last of Us Part 2, which I really love. The Last of Us. Oh, hi Spirit Wolf. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is your favorite. I haven't played much of Assassin's Creed. I'll go back to the Last of Us afterward. I haven't played much Assassin's Creed. I only played like a tiny bit of the first one, the very first one. I played the very first one up until the point where you go to the second city or something like that, and when I saw, wait, it's exactly the same thing as the first, I was like, nope, we are not going through that. And then I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and that's about it. That's about it for Assassin's Creed. So I heard I like Black Flag was one of the really much more acclaimed one, but I never played it, nor do I have much interest in playing it. But I saw the debacle of the Skull and Bones. What do they call it? The decadence of AAA games. They had the goal to call it a quadruple A games. Like this is the scum of the century or close to it. The game that they made a decade ago is much better. What did they do with the money? What did you do with the money? What were you doing for the whole decade? Assassin's Creed games are really the same gameplay, so it's different. Many games are like that. There's so many games with like some innovation. The Last of Us Part 2 was story was disappointing. It was. Okay, so I'm going back to The Last of Us Part 2. I was really salty. Like, as far as I can be salty for things like that. Like, I tend to be passionate when I speak about these things. It's not really. I wouldn't go to the point to say like it's changed my life or what. Some pieces of media have had a big impact on my life. The Last of Us was a masterpiece of storytelling to me. I tried playing the game a tiny bit. I didn't really get far through it, but I just watched my brother play it. I was just there for the story. And what they did with part 2 was such a sacrilege. Like, it's because it was supposed to be a part 2. It's because it was a sequel. Like that the way that, like, the concept could have been an interesting one. Apparently, what's his name? No, Neil Gaiman is the author, but it's not that. Neil Druckmann. What went down in The Last of Us Part 2 was apparently, supposedly, purportedly, the story that he wanted to tell in the first part. And there was another person who was like a co-director, co-writer, that said, no, let's arrange it more like this. That was the masterpiece. The fact that The Last of Us Part 2 was a part 2, a sequel to that, and the way it went. Okay, we go full on spoiler here. In The Last of Us, it was all about Joel and Ellie. You learn to love those characters. The way they just, not only the way the progression of the story was made was incoherent with the first part, but also like, why? Just why? Did you detest those characters so much that you'd go to such lengths to destroy them so utterly? Like, what? Were you salty that they were so beloved that you had to do that? I don't understand. I don't understand what the reasoning behind that thing was. Like I said, the concept could have been interesting. If it had been a standalone story, maybe it would have worked out. Probably. Like, the result is just, it was at best divisive. I personally absolutely hated it. And my brother and I, we didn't get through the game, through the whole game. We just, when Joel died, we just stood, we just were silent there, completely shocked. I swear to you, I was silent, I don't know, a bit before Joel died. I had fallen silent, which is something that I don't usually do in a game. Plus, the silence was very ominous. I fell silent, and I think I must have spent a good 5 minutes silent, completely flabbergasted by what they did. I was there, like, I didn't say a word for a good 5 minutes. My brother just silently continued playing, and then after that I just exploded, like, what? The Last of Us Part 2 was the start of a string of disappointments for me. in the gaming industry. It was bad, and then Genshin Impact came afterward too. Like, it was to the point that I got disgusted and I just sold the two games. I was like, no, I don't want to see The Last of Us ever again. Because you destroyed it. You destroyed it. You ruined it for me. The Last of Us was a masterpiece. You destroyed it. I do not want to see it ever again. That's it. It was to that point. I sold the games. I resold the games. I was so. And after that, just hearing about the title was like, there was a huge wave of anger coming out of me. Like I said, a few stories have had impacts on my life. That one, it's not even that it had an impact on my life. It was something that I was holding out to high esteem. Like I said, it was a masterpiece to me. And that man, he destroyed it. I still and then I heard stuff about him from my brother, and I was like, yeah, checks out. Hey, The Last of Us didn't get to play it because your nephews broke your console by putting code in when the disc was trying to finish Persona 5. Oh, well, I highly do not recommend part 2. Like, it ruined it for me. Like, I shouldn't have touched that thing. Now it just tainted everything. It tainted the masterpiece that The Last of Us was. Plus, it's not. It really is the story, like the storytelling. Because the gameplay was nothing innovative. It's just okay. It's just okay. So you kill zombies. But there was nothing innovative about the gameplay. It was really just a story. The story hard carried it. It was a story. And yeah, since then I have had no interest whatsoever in anything Last of Us related. And honestly, it was to the point where I was like, if I could have spit in that man's coffee. Because it's clear to me, it's that man that destroyed it. Now, about games that want something innovative, I don't know. I don't know if I personally feel like at this stage, there is very little room for innovation. Like, I feel like that is why, even technologically speaking, it's only just about, okay, better lighting, better shadows, better, because it feels like everything's been done. Kind of like how, you know, when there is no more land to be discovered. Maybe I'm just being a bit negative about it, I don't know. But I feel like there's not much innovation to be expected from games. And so I'm just happy when something comes along and is decent. We're really at that stage where it's just decent. I really wish to play a Baldur's Gate 3. It's just that it's not yet. It's at that price tag that feels a bit too much, you know. So I'm just biding my time for now. Biding my time for now. But yeah, honestly, as far as expectations can go for me in a gacha game, okay, I'm coming back to the. As far as expectations can go for me in a gacha game, I have a tiny bit of it for Wuwa. We'll see how it goes. I don't expect the story to be anything good, much less groundbreaking. It would be good if it can at least be a bit decent. And if it's not, at least it will offer me the option to skip. So honestly, in gacha games, no, it's just about a bit of fun and collecting the male characters voiced by voice actors I like or know of. The moment Maino drops in Wuwa, you know I'll just go after him. Please, Maino, come voice in Wuwa. Please, 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 please. So I can hear your voice in this game, because honestly at this stage I feel like I'm not going back to Genshin anymore. There's nothing for me there. The combat was the part that I really liked in Genshin, and it's so much better to me in Wuwa. So much better. So much better. So it feels like, like I said, there's nothing to do in Genshin. But if they had made Genshin a My Time at Porsche time kind of game, that would have been good. I think that would have been good. But I think that's what they should have done. Because if you're not gonna do anything with the combat, you shouldn't have put it on. Like, if you're trying to, like, check the power level of characters so much, for what? For what? There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There's Abby's twice a month. No, not twice. Twice a month, and you can do it. Genshin is just mashing buttons. If you're really bad, you can just grab. There are a few characters, like there's Alhaidam, Neuvillette. You just. There is no, like, I'm sure there is some optimum way to play them. I've never done that. They just erase everything, and they need barely anything. Just go after them then. There's nothing to do in the game. Here, at least, the combat is challenging enough. You know, because something like wanting to be beginner friendly, casual friendly doesn't mean that you should cap the possibilities for your challenging content. You can make it beginner friendly without it being an utter joke. Look at, like, I think, but for example, didn't Elden Ring do something like that? Like, it's the most beginner friendly of those kinds of games. You can get in through that and get better. Like, what? If you're interested in it, like, it makes me so mad when you're just limiting people. Don't limit people. Yeah, allow them the opportunity to grow, please. To progress, to evolve beyond mediocrity. Would love a game that is single player RPG, but like a fighting game similar to Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but more RPG like. Oh, I'm sure. You know what? At this stage, I'm sure that probably exists. Like I said, now at this stage, I think it's more just like okay, there's this genre, this genre. We can take from this and take from this. Here, a new thing. Honestly, at this stage, I think there's a chance for many sorts of games to exist. Yeah, no, the camera, however, is not good. The camera is yeah. The camera in these games is what I think is kind of lacking. I had the same problem in Ghost of Tsushima. The camera was the only thing that I was really feeling like, this is not very tight. When it comes to RPG games, I kind of wish that they let you choose to eliminate certain bosses which affect RNG combat and storyline. That way people could have different experiences. Yeah, so to come back to it, I think that many games are just using the tags RPG willy-nilly. Like, I feel like there are games like shouldn't even be within the RPG tag, but it's just like, oh, there's a level system, so we are an RPG. yeah, but I think there is so much more to RPG games than that. RPGs than that. RPGs are it already has games in it. It's like DC Comics. It's Detective Comics. Why are you saying Detective Comics? Don't say that. Okay. RPG. Like, okay, but like role-playing game. I think that many games aren't really doing much with the RPG tag. Like, yeah, okay, there's a sense of progression, there's a level system, but there's so much more to that. And yeah, the whole thing of actually making like actually having an impact in the world, I think is missing too much in especially modern games that are within the RPG category without really deserving to, might I say. Deserving is like a harsh word, but like something like that. Does feel like gacha MMO and such are made to consume as much time from the player as possible, so you can only play one game. You want to be the best at it. Like I've said it just a bit earlier. To me, gacha is just legal scam, kind of like pachinko. The difference is you can actually get money from actual gambling in real life. You don't get anything here. You're just actively losing money. And like I said, I am not. It's not my place to judge whatever you do with your money. It's your money. If it gives you a good bit of fun, a good bit of entertainment, and it's not an addiction, to whatever you want. You have the funds. You have the disposable funds. You do it. You do whatever you want. But for me personally, it's just legal scam. I don't get anything. I don't get anything extra for paying the money. I could take it as me wanting to support the game because the game brought something to me. If I look at it like that, yeah. But aside from that, honestly, it feels so much like a scam. Because the content doesn't. There's not extra content if you pay. It's just okay. You get a character, a weapon earlier. Yeah. In order to finish the content earlier, so you are sitting on your hands again for longer. Is it? Genshin should give the option to focus on what you're attacking. For you can dodge and attack at the same time. But if we skill players that don't want to waste money and time getting good, people could have more fun. There's a lot of things that Genshin could do, but I know that they will never do because they are making an indecent amount of money with the bare minimum. Why? Like, if only businesses actually operated with a win-win kind of mindset, but at least even if say it's copium, I think there's more chance for that to happen in a AAA game than in a gacha game, because gacha is literally, you don't go into gacha with passion mindset. You go into gacha to make money, and an indecent amount of it. Because everything in a gacha is built around the fact that, okay, you need to create FOMO so that the player will eventually drop money in here. I do not expect anything from Genshin because they're at the top of their game. There is absolutely no reason for them to do anything better. But challenges like Hua, however, there is a chance for me to get something out of them because they are newcomers on the market, in this subgenre, this genre that Genshin has established, and they need to do all they can to ensure that they have a bit of that there is a reason for people to go to them instead of to Genshin. I feel a lot of a lot with mobile games. You need this new character to clear this new boss or missions. People have to use the money to get newest characters. They can clear the new mission. Yeah, that's the whole power creep discussion when they are like they are adjusting the content to the newer units that are much stronger, and after a certain point you feel like you absolutely need to get the newer units if you want to continue clearing stuff. That is another technique, let's say. Another way to incite you to get in. It adds to the FOMO. Hello, Astrocat Fever. Thank you very much for dropping by. Welcome to the stream. Hope you like it here. Although today is a lot of yapping and a lot of flaming about stuff, but yeah. It depends on people. Like, yeah, I feel like there's quite an amount of people that will just feel like it's not worth it anymore when there's too much power creep, basically, and you're just you're just going to bleed players, as I say. So that's why they're trying to, like, at least in Genshin, they've been trying to not make power creep that much. But the other side of the coin is it's just boring. It's just boring. You shouldn't have made it. You shouldn't have made such a complex combat system if you're not gonna do anything about it. I always say this, and yeah. Just like Battle Pass is always release new limited content that is OP for the duration and a bit afterwards before it gets nerfed. Yep. Yeah. I don't know how it is in, say, MMORPGs, because I haven't played much MMORPGs. I played World of Warcraft a tiny bit. Was it 10 years ago? Maybe even more than that. 15 years ago? And I just tried. It was the trial account or something like that, like the discovery account, and so you can play up to level 20. So I have no idea how it works out in MMORPGs. My understanding is that they release at the very least for MMORPGs, the patches are like self-contained. Like it's like an expansion. It's like an expansion. Like in gacha games, you have patches that come in, trickle in every few weeks, and so the content is not necessarily like yeah, okay, it's just to tide you over, to keep you coming back day by day. But my understanding is that in MMORPGs, the expansions are like self-contained content. Like you have a storyline in there, tons of new stuff to do, and so I'd feel like it would feel less. I feel like it would feel less boring, but I don't know. I haven't been able to come back to Final Fantasy XIV because last time I tried to play, I had a power outage, and so my PS4 died on the spot. It's fine now, it's fine, but it's just that I was thinking maybe I'll need to try to switch over to PC in the end, but my internet has been very spotty, so I haven't been able to actually get the game on PC. I don't know when I'll be able to pick it up again, but I kind of want to see what it has to offer. Because I've heard that it has a good single player experience, and that is the sole reason I've picked it up. I'm not interested in interacting with random people in a game. But yeah, I have a feeling, without really knowing anything about it, that an MMORPG might be a bit better as far as content and FOMO goes like because they don't have to force things out of you as much as in gacha games. Because you already pay for the game and pay for a monthly subscription. But I don't know. That is just my very uneducated guess. But I don't know. Now, what was I talking about? Yeah. We'll see how Wuwa does, but I'm mostly interested in just collecting. Like, I really like the combat, so that's a good thing. But in gacha games nowadays, I'm just interested in collecting characters with voices I really like. I've already talked about him a bit at the beginning. Maino Tomoaki is my favorite voice actor ever. He became my favorite voice actor because he voices Hack in Akatsuki no Yona, which is my favorite manga ever. I saw the anime. I don't even remember how I came to watch that anime. Like, it came from recommendations or what? I don't remember anymore. I was in a I want to watch anime mood, and I watched I think I started with something like I was like in a mood like, hey, do you remember we used to watch stuff like Clanad, or to my brother, Clanad, or what else? I kind of want to watch stuff like that, I think. Or was it him? I don't know, but whichever of us started the binge watching, and then we arrived, we stumbled upon Akatsuki no Yona, honestly, and I really liked it, and Hack became my favorite character ever. And so at that time, I started to get a bit interested in voice actors, the Japanese voice actors, because like, when you watch anime and you start to recognize voices, hey, isn't that the same voices as character A? And then we started to like check out the voice actors. There were names that came back a lot, like Nakamura Yuichi, who voices Gojo Satoru in Jujutsu Kaisen, for example. I'm saying that because that's like the most popular these days, I think. But Nakamura Yuichi is a big name. Sakurai. What's his first name again? I don't remember. Takahiro? Oh. Well, Sakurai is who voices he voices so many characters, like Osomatsu-san, the eldest of the Osomatsu brothers. Where did that one come? Who's the guy in Mob Psycho? Rengen? I don't remember. Those are the ones that come to mind first. But Maino Tomoaki didn't appear much in all the animes that I had watched. I think it just started with, I really loved Hack, so I really came to love his voice, and then I came to really love Maino Tomoaki's voice, and it just became a little loop of happiness, because I really like Hack, I really like his voice, therefore I started to really like Maino Tomoaki's voice. And it's just that, like, when I hear his voice, it just makes me happy, because it brings back happy memories of, oh, this is my favorite character. I think it's just really that. And then I discovered other characters because I started to really like his voice. I really like him as a voice actor. And I started to see him in events, and I really liked his personality as a public figure, and I started to try to search for his other roles in other anime and games, and it just became a happy little loop. Like, now hearing Maino Tomoaki's voice equals happiness for Nova. And it's a very happy thing. Get those moods also to watch some weekly, but anime moods hit, I can easily binge a series. Yeah, I don't get anime moods as often anymore. Regenera Taka, there it is. Ah, really? It was Takahiro. Okay. Sakurai Takahiro, yep. Maino just became a happiness loop for me. And so every time I see him tweeting stuff like, oh, I'm voicing in here, I'll check it out. That doesn't mean that I'll necessarily be interested in it. That doesn't mean that I love every character he voices. It's just he became a favorite content creator, a favorite figure for me, and so I check out stuff that he does. And I was very happy to see him getting married and having a child. Like, oh, it made me understand the bit of happiness you have as a viewer, as a fan of someone. Like, oh, they're being happy, and it makes me happy too. And it's not someone that I will ever know personally or anything. And so it made me understand, okay, so that's what people feel, I guess. And we're talking about having Oshis to a certain degree. I'll never be like people that have Oshis, really, I think. Because I feel like people that have Oshis are really... they go really... It's become kind of a... religion, can I say it like that? I don't mean it in any... like an institution. Like... they go out of their way like, oh, there's merch, I have to get it. Oh, there's new stuff, I have to see it. Oh, I have to watch it. I'm not to that stage. I just I try to check things out when I see them if I have interest. I have an Oshi, but I am very mild about it, I guess, if I had to compare myself. Did I see reincarnated as a slime? Diablo? Is that how? I know that he voices the dragon in that series, but I wasn't. I tried to. Who? Who are you talking about, Neo? Code Geass? Sakurai. I tried watching the reincarnated as slime because Maino voices in there. He voices the dragon. I don't remember what the dragon's name is. It was funny. I just watched, I think, the very first episode, something like that. It didn't really catch my interest much. But it was funny because I could hear the Maino voice, but it was just the added effects for the dragon, and it was kind of funny because I feel like the dragon was being like a kind of a tsundere, playful Maino. he seems to be a playful person, but at the same time very respectful, and I like the personality I see in events. Just make them, and it makes me happy. Hate the fans that hate on popular famous people for having a lover like they are a normal person. They have their own that thing always bugs me out because it's something that I can't understand, and I find it creepy as hell, honestly. Like I feel like I feel like maybe it's just that many of us people are just very young, maybe, and don't really have much of a grasp on reality, maybe. I don't know, because you can't appreciate someone's work and the public figure they are, but you'll never know that person personally. There's literally nothing between you and them aside from you having some form of admiration for them. As a fan, you don't have any say in their private lives, and their lives are private for a reason. Like, whatever. I don't get how certain people become parasocial. That is a subject I do not want to touch on for long here, just mentioning it because you raised up the point. But yeah, the demon is reincarnated as a slime. I like I said, I just watched the very first episode, and it was just to hear Mino. I wasn't interested in the show because I wasn't interested in the main character, the protagonist. So I just dropped it. Yeah, Mino. I've been talking about Mino this whole time, Neo. Veldora, there it is. Veldora's the name, yeah. Veldora's the name. And yeah, I've tried, you know, of the gacha games that I played, I played almost all of them because of Mino. I tried Genshin because of Mino. I tried Onmyoji because of Mino, because he voices one character in there, one character that released at the very beginning of the game, and I just wanted to get him. It's one character that is pretty much already practically outperformed, but I don't care. I don't care about meta if it concerns a favorite something, a favorite someone, a favorite voice, or a favorite character. And there was this other game that I've been wanting to try. Like, I tried a bit, but the download is hell, probably because of my where I am located at. Another, I don't. The title starts with another, and I found it really interesting. It was a gacha game, but it was very much mostly a JRPG. Mostly, like, I didn't even see much of a gacha aspect from it. Like, you go gacha for the characters to add to your party, but the whole gameplay of it was very much traditional JRPG, and I really liked it. But I wasn't able to download much of the game, so I was barely able to play it. I really liked it. I played that game because Mino made a tweet about voicing a character in there, just because of that. And then what else? And I've tried to watch many animes just because I was scouring my anime list page just to see, okay, where did he voice to? Oh, okay, here. That sounds like something I might want to check out, and I checked them out. There were a few that I really liked, ended up liking, were pleasant surprises. But most of the time I was just going in just to hear his voice. He has a YouTube channel too, but I don't actually, like, I'm subscribed, but I don't actually get the time to really check out the things he does. And when I became a content creator myself, I found that I don't really have much time to check out other creators as much. Which is once I became a VTuber myself, I started to not be able to watch other VTubers anymore, because I'm not in the mind space to do that anymore. It feels like I'm since it's the activity that I'm mainly doing every day, so I watch other kind of contents, and Mino as a voice actor is still pretty much close to it, maybe, I don't know. Plus it doesn't help that he's always streaming Genshin, and I'm just sick of that game, and so I'm just like, oh, Mino is here, oh, he's playing now, it's good that he's having fun, but I don't watch it. You thought I was talking about Sakura? No, Sakura is not he's great and all. And if I see him voicing a character, I'll try to grab him just because oh, it's Sakurai, I like his voice, but he's not my favorite. No. That sounds bad. That sounds like I'm no, don't nickname me that, please. That sounds, especially since you mentioned the stuff about fans not knowing the boundaries between them and their favorite celebrities' private lives. That sounds really bad. Please don't nickname me that. Always fun checking something out and then really loving it. Yeah, right? There are a lot of animes that Maino voiced in that I was like, I just went in just, I want to see what kind of voice he does in there. And having a pleasant surprise, like, I wasn't expecting much when I went into this anime, but it was a nice little fun time I spent there. He was in Log Horizon. Yes, he was. And he's the main. He's the skull head, the skeleton head in. What was it? Kaikotsu. The skeleton, like he got reincarnated in the world. And in that world, he was the character that he had made in the game, and I find it really funny because it's like when I watched, I only watched like 2-3 episodes, but when I watched it, it was like, wait, that's mine. That's literally mine. Mine is the little nickname I give him in my heart. I think there are other fans that call him like that. I find it sounds really cute. And that's my nickname. Wait, that's literally mine. No, he's literally voicing himself. But apart from him, Skeleton Knight, there it is. Apart from him, like, he's my number one favorite voice actor. You'll find that I much prefer Japanese voice actors, not because of weeb, not so much. Like it's more that I like their voices more most of the time, and let's face it, the voice acting industry is much bigger in Japan. Like they have a whole institution. They have years and years and years of experience in it. I don't remember an instance when I was watching an anime and I was like, that doesn't sound right ever. Like if it's an anime that is actually how do you say it, that the people that are actually how do you say it, like legit production, like obviously when there are big names in it, it's gonna be good. Wait, I tried to watch what was it? I tried to watch, it was a movie of the director that adapted The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, that has really great music, or at least for the 15 minutes I watched it. Sobaka's Hime to, what was it? Belle and the, I don't know what beast, or was it just Belle? That was an instant when I was like, it was more like, I feel like this girl doesn't have much experience as a voice actor, as a voice actress. But I've never felt like, at the very least, the directing is always very tight, because for them, the directors are not people that arrive at that position out of nowhere. They have had to they had to have a lot of experience in the industry. Yeah. The one where there's the skeleton named Ark. That's him. So yeah, for me, they're just a cut above other voice actors. But it's not like I've listened to overdubs much anyway. But the dubs I've been able to actively listen to, and I actually understand the language. The second best for me is French, actually. Probably because they had to dub a lot of things, but compared to English, I think French dub is much better. In many movies and other stuff I've watched, that is my opinion. Well, of course there are probably exceptions here and there, like, oh no, the original was better here, but in many I find the French is better. Like, even in Disney's, in games, when there is French dub. Hello Demon, welcome to the stream, thank you very much for dropping by. Probably because they too had to build the experience to do it, to dub. English is, well, you have big names like, say, Nolan North, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, that always make a fantastic work whatever the material given to them. Probably because they also had the time to build the experience, and even if the directing is not super tight, they can make it work. But I feel like the English dubbing is still leaves much to be desired, especially when it comes to dubbing anime and other similar content. I think it's really just the directing that is missing. This is hit or miss, and miss most of the time. Because I've heard dubbing in anime and like, oh my god, what is this? When I thought that the pronunciation of the names in French was kind of okay, but the English dub is but hey, let's leave them time to build experience, I guess. What I find, like, what I find ways is that they like try to emulate what the Japanese voice actors are doing, but it doesn't work. Like, culturally, you're too different. You should try to adapt it in a better way. Like, in games we're doing it better, but when we're trying to over games, like normal dubbing in a game, but when we're trying to adapt something that is Japanese or whatever over Asian kind of products, I feel like this is not working. You shouldn't. How do I feel about Korean or Chinese with anime? Anime with speaking in those languages. I haven't tried out yet. And I don't know if I'll try it out. In general, I feel like I want to listen to something with the original language, but at the same time, I don't understand Chinese and Korean. Not that I understood much of Japanese at the beginning, but I don't know. I don't feel like trying them out yet, especially since if I have an option to listen to it in Japanese, I'll go with Japanese, mostly because I'm learning Japanese right now and listening is a big part of it. I don't know if I'd go with it. But for example, I've watched Train to Busan, which was in the original language with subtitles. And as much as I laughed a lot when I first heard Japanese because it was so different from what I would have imagined it to sound like. I wasn't necessarily super surprised with Korean, like, oh, okay, that's how it sounds, okay. So I think maybe with Japanese, I started to just open my ears to different but not so different sounding languages. And Chinese, I don't know if it's in Mandarin or in whatever. I don't know. I don't know exactly what dialect is used in which contents. I've heard it a bit here and there in Honkai Impact trailers, because my brother played Honkai Impact food, and sometimes I got to hear them. I feel like it sounds fine. I don't know much about the correct intonation or what. As a very uneducated ear, I find that they sound fine. But right now, since I am trying to actively learn Japanese, I think I'd rather listen to stuff in Japanese if there is a Japanese dub. When it comes to Asian content. When it comes to Western content, I'd rather listen to it in English or French. That's how I'd go about it for now. Apart from Mai no Tomoaki, who is my very favorite voice actor, I really like the voices of Umehara Yuichiro too, which is like, if I had to say, is like pretty much my ideal kind of voice. And he has a nice face too. But like pretty much my ideal kind of voice, and if I see him voicing someone in game too, in a gacha too, obviously I'm going after him. That is why the first time our item was announced and I saw the name and I was like, Ume-chan is the nickname I gave him. I give nicknames to the seiyus. I was like, Ume-chan voices him. Of course, I'm grabbing him, absolutely. And he has a very interesting voice because he can voice both very arrogant characters and very gentle ones. And I really like the gap. It sounds really nice. Like, oh, if I listen to him with headphones, it becomes it becomes an ascending experience. Talking about Chinese, just remembered an anime you watched that you really liked called The King's Avatar. Huh. Was that a Chinese anime, or does it or is it about Chinese mythology? Professional gamer getting fire anime. Read the manhwa. Professional gamer getting fire anime. Oh, now that we're talking about manhwa and such, I think I've only read like one manhwa, and I don't even remember what it was. But it's like lately I've been interested in checking out stuff in the in the isekai regression kind of tag, because I find it an interesting concept. Sometimes there are some authors that do interesting things about it, and other times it's just we're copying everything that this person has been done in the in the genre. So like I said, I've only read a single manhwa and I don't even remember what the title was, but I remember it wasn't very good for my standards. And so I was like, I find like Well, I'm gonna make the comparison, but don't read much from it. I find like in manhwa, the Korean ones, the Korean comics, it's either it's like the one, like there's one or two that are able to do something interesting with the trope, and then there are 50 others that are just going to copy it without really understanding what made it good. Whereas in manga, there is a chance for it to be at least refreshingly interesting, because even with the same trope, they add a little twist to it. That's my analysis after. I wouldn't say, it's not like I've read many, like enough to make an actual statistical analysis, but it's just my general feel. Have to read in quite a few. Like that they made Solo Leveling into an anime that I still haven't watched. I tried reading it and I got I don't know, I got super far into the manhwa, but I haven't finished it yet. I got to a point where like there was that girl, and I was like feeling like was being introduced as a love interest, and I felt like there was absolutely no chemistry between the two, and if it went into a romance at that point, I was like, that doesn't feel believable. You should have just left it without romance if it's gonna be like that, and I dropped it at that point. I was thinking that maybe I'll go back to it, but I don't know. Hey Rav, hello, welcome, thank you for dropping by. One of the best anime opening you've seen comes from a Chinese anime called Spare Me, Great Lord. I've seen one or two Chinese anime on YouTube of all places. Like, oh, okay. I feel like we might have some interesting animation, like pretty good, but so far I haven't found ones with really like which stories convinced me much. I don't know how to say it. I don't know, but like Korean manhwas there are some that are really interesting and really good. I haven't found any manhwa Chinese ones that really got my interest yet. Like the stories too. Read a lot of them, get some nice thoughts going or fantasy about how I would do it. Yeah, manhwa is the Korean, yeah. I've read a lot of manhwas these few years. Well, a lot for me, a lot for me is not a lot for other people. I'm guessing. I haven't counted, but it's definitely. For example, I used to read a lot of books, like a lot. I had a card membership where you can borrow books. I think there was a year when I read like 100 books. I don't have the time for that as much anymore. But I say that, but it's not like reading one book takes me that long. All in all, it can take just one day. But it's about finding that one day to read the book. Don't really game, read a lot, like a lot. I used to be like that. I don't read as much anymore, which it's really just a case of reallocating my time to one thing for another. But yeah, I haven't been reading as much. It's been actually, I think it was 10 years or maybe even 15. A while ago since I've last read books that much. And I don't really like I do read mangas and manhwas a bit from time to time. It's mostly just before I go to sleep. Just like, oh, a bit of this. But yeah, gaming. Well, I'm gaming mostly because now I'm streaming it. So it's become a bigger part of my time. Still, I've never been much of a fan of a series format, like live action series. Whereas I've been fine with watching animes with many seasons, but series I don't know. I feel like they're harder for me to like. It's harder for them to hook me, and even when they do hook me, they have a harder time to keep my interest. So it's just like, yeah. I tried watching The Walking Dead a tiny bit. I think I got through the first season, and I found it really interesting at the beginning. I think I dropped it at the second season. I tried Lost too, something like that too. I think it was the first season, and then I dropped at the second. Apart from that, what did I try to watch? Back in the day, I tried to watch Vampire Diaries. Same issue. I think did I even get through the first season? There's a lot of stuff like that. Never was able to go through TV series much, and yet I've watched 800 episodes of One Piece. I've stopped at after the Big Mom arc, and I was like, yeah, I'll continue. I don't know if I'll be able to continue actually, but I think that between reading the manga and watching the anime, I'd rather watch the anime, because I heard that the manga has become even harder to read. But I know that once I read the manga, I'll drop the anime. But I feel like I have a hard time understanding whatever's happening in shonen. So yeah, I go with watching the anime if I get back to it. But I wouldn't have watched it if I hadn't gotten into it much earlier as I did. Because right now, thinking about watching 1,000 episodes of One Piece, yeah, no. I'd rather no. there's just not enough time to allocate to that anymore. How many people here have each watched Assassination Classroom? I've always well, it's on my list of to watch, but I haven't. I haven't. Oh yeah, there's Nobu in there. Nobuhiko, Okamoto Nobuhiko, which is one voice I like to. I tend to recognize in anime. Honestly, Nobu is the only one I remember in there. I don't remember if there's any other ones I know. I did watch How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, but those are rom-coms. It's not exactly the same as the TV series. It's like technically the format is the same, but the kind of show it is different. And I didn't watch How I Met Your Mother from end to beginning. I just saw the early seasons and watched the very last one just where the mother finally appeared. That's it. A lot of live action have the same formula for every episode. For example, medical show, we find what's wrong, wasn't right, and end happy. Well, it having the same formula does not mean that it has to be like you can Like I said, for example, for me, my observation is that mangas, even though they reuse the same tropes, they add a little twist to it. For example, I saw there was an anime that was talking about isekai, but it's Isekai Oji-san. It was. I haven't been able to watch it yet, but it's been on my looks interesting list. Instead of talking about his life in the Isekai world, it's about him coming back. It's I think it's gonna talk about his life in the Isekai world, but it's from the point of view of him. He's already come back to his original world, and he's sharing his adventures to his nephew. Like, it's a simple little twist, but it freshens up things. Stuff like that. It's not because you are using the same tropes, but you cannot add a bit of something to it. And I think that's just, it's not just TV series, games do that. Like any other industry that that humans have made. Everyone is just looking for the formula that works, and forget that humans aren't just happy with the simple formula. Love generic isekai trash. Honestly, I personally really like the concept of isekai. It's just that many don't do much about it, especially in anime, I think. But in manga, I found some interesting twists. So that's why I tend to like go towards manga. But in manhwa, the Korean variant, sometimes there are some really good ones, and then the 50 of us are just gonna copy it without, like I said, without understanding what actually made that one that made it good, that was good, that made it good. So yeah, it really just comes down to the fact that I think people just want to find the formula and try to apply that formula to everything. But when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to art, it doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. You can't just take try to copy something and expect it to work. Because yeah, first there were people that will say, "Oh, you just copied this," and then if you were just going to copy it, why don't I just go towards the original? You have to add something to it, a tiny bit something. Just it's like adding seasoning to the same dish, but changing the seasoning makes it different. Like if I cooked fish the exact same way and I added pepper instead of just salt, my seasoning would be salt and pepper instead of just being salt. That would already make it a different dish. In fact, like there's a different taste. There's more. Like the base has been rehaussé. C'est quoi rehaussé en anglais? Rehaussé en anglais. Enhanced. The dish has been enhanced. Can consume anime or manga in relative short time compared to Grey Anatomy, where there's 20 seasons, 20 episodes each season, 43 minutes. Length episodes. Yeah, there's also that. There's the cost, the time cost efficiency. Yeah. There's that. Yeah. Eminence in Shadow movie. I've seen that title a lot, but I've never checked it out. I'm really just like, it's funny because at the beginning I was checking anime because the synopsis, the premise interested me. Now it's just more, oh, is someone I like does someone I like voices in here? And then I check if the synopsis interests me. Very few anime have caught my attention these days, and that have absolutely not a single voice actor or voice actress I know in them. Movie is supposed to be canon following the manga. Eminence in Shadow. I've seen that title a lot. I have no idea what's it about. And I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. There are a lot of animes that I'm like, yeah, this sounds interesting. I'd like to watch it. I put it on my pile of to watch, but I never get to it. I never get to watch it actually. Yeah, it's a cost of time. But then again, honestly, I feel like for me, an anime has more to offer for me, as the media has more to offer for me than the manga. It's like, if I'm gonna read, I'd rather read a book, and if I'm gonna watch images, I'd rather it be animated and voiced. So manga, the comic format, the media, is kind of like the most lackluster to me. The most lackluster. Yeah, I watch images and read bubbles of dialogues, but when there is action, I have a hard time understanding what is happening. Yeah, I'd rather just watch anime. But I know that there are many of them that are good but don't get anime adaptations, or which anime adaptations are just dropped. I'm looking at you, Akatsuki no Yona, my most favorite manga of all times, with my most favorite character, with my most favorite voice actor, but they dropped it! Piero, you dropped it! You dropped the ball! And it's such a good story too. Well, I haven't read it in a while, but the chapters come out monthly, so it's a long while. It's a long wait, so I wait for it to pile up. Yeah, and there are many mangas that are like, oh, this would be interesting. And it's a good thing that they adapted Solo Leveling, because when I read the manhwa, I was like, hey, this looks like something that would be really good in anime. But I haven't watched it. I don't know if it's living up to the hype or not. I feel like it probably has, kinda. I don't know. At least I think it hasn't been it hasn't been bombed. It hasn't bombed, so that's that. And then there are animes that are running, or mangas that are running so long that I just end up kind of losing interest. For example, there's My Hero Academia, which I found was really interesting, but at some point I just dropped it. I'm happy. I'm glad I read Kimetsu no Yaiba's manga, because the anime seems to take forever to come out. Oh no, that one was that one had me needing a was it a good month of cooldown after the train arc? When I read the manga, the very first season had just ended airing, and so I read the manga. So my brother really liked. Oh no, not stopped airing. It was after I saw the very first season. At the beginning, I was interested in Kimetsu no Yaiba, but I had this feeling like, Tanjiro is not a protagonist I like to see, because I felt like he was too naive, and I had an expectation of where it was going, and I didn't like where it was going in my head, so I stopped it for a bit. But my brother continued, and he read the manga, and he really liked it. And I value my brother's opinion, because even though we don't necessarily have the same level of like for stuff, we usually tend to we despite everything, we are two very different people. So he has his own likes and dislikes, and I do too. But I value his opinion in the I value his opinion, because if he says something is really good, I'm inclined to believe it, because I know he judges things not with the same frame of reference to me, but not the same pyramid of priorities, let's say. So yeah, I value his opinion. If he says that something is good, I'm willing to give it a chance. So I gave it a chance, and I read the manga, and I read the Mugen train arc, and I needed a month of cooldown. I even berated him a tiny bit, like, you should have prepared me. I wasn't prepared for that thing. I'm not going into spoilers, but that anime wrecked me in the best of ways. Like the emotions, it was a roller coaster, but I'm really glad I read it. And I feel like the anime is going really slow, because the first season released in 2018 or something like that. The manga has been finished for forever. Why is the anime still not catching up? I feel like they just they lost a lot of hype along the way. Reminded you, got spoiled what happened in Nagatoro. Some of you love manga and you haven't read yet because you was watching the anime. Oh, Nagatora. Oh, but like, isn't it Nagatora? Or am I don't know. But I mean, you were watching the anime, so like, yes. I'm not saying like, maybe that's not something so bad. Like, yeah, but that might be a bit on you. because animes don't exactly always adapt one for manga. They rearrange stuff. That way too, you have more value out of the anime than just it being an adaptation of the manga with colors and voices and music and sound effects. Some anime adaptations get changed quite a bit to fit an audience. Kuma Bear got made a lot more child-friendly, or Graced by the Gods got changed quite a bit. The whole it has to fit the audience thing. The very first animes that were airing in my country were obviously from France. They dubbed, they bought and dubbed a lot of animes, and they adapted them. Like, for example, they dubbed City Hunter, but dumbed it down so much because the view was animation is for kids, so it has to be kid friendly. And City Hunter is absolutely, I don't know if absolutely not kid friendly is the way I'd say it, but it's not really something that was meant to be kid friendly, and so they dumped it so much, and it has become a thing of its own. Same for like Dragon Ball Z. especially. I've never seen Dragon Ball. I don't think it has ever aired in my country, but Dragon Ball Z has. Dragon Ball Z was the anime that introduced my whole generation. I think when I say my whole generation, it's not just my whole generation as in the people of more or less the same age as me. It's like the whole the whole generation of people that got into anime in my country mostly probably have entered into the anime world because of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, the most famous one is City Hunter being dumbed down. Like the models became something like vegetarian restaurant or something like I don't quite remember, but yeah, it's quite another thing. It's quite its own thing. My Hero Academia manga seems like it's gonna end soon. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm guessing it will, yeah. Almost done, yeah. Latest chapter is going on extended break, so not sure when the end is coming. Probably not too many chapters left. Let's hope that Sensei wraps it up not in a single chapter like how it was with Bleach and Naruto. Main selling point of the anime is the gorgeous animation, not the story. Of which anime? Which anime are we talking about? Because I feel like that is disingenuous. Is disingenuous or what I'm like? Because the thing is, okay, this is an adaptation of a manga, Demon Slayer. I mean, I don't agree. I feel like Demon Slayer is one of those actually have a good story to tell, and one that is said in a succinct is that in a well enough contained manner. Like it didn't take 1,000 chapters to be said, and it was said well. Succinct. Does that word even exist in English? Succinctly? Succinctement. En anglais. Yeah, no, apparently it exists. Like it's like I think it's something like oh, you watch a VTuber that has a gorgeous model, that's what attracted you to them, but you don't say just to watch the model, do you? Well, maybe there are people that do that, I'm not gonna judge, but like most of the time, if whatever they're offering isn't up to your taste, you leave. Even if the model is gorgeous, it's like oh, this car is magnificent from outside, but the chairs are uncomfortable as hell. The engine doesn't even work. Like I feel like, yeah, okay, it has very good animation, but it's not because it has very good animation that you're just gonna disregard it if it has dog shit story. In that case, if it's just about the animation, it's another kind of entertainment you're after. It's like, might as well just watch a Michael Bay movie. Like, I'm not trying to disregard stuff. I'm just saying that I don't think that Demon Slayer is just about the animation. Not at all. That is actually one anime with an actually one story that is actually good, and that animation is just a bonus, not the whole point of it. Yeah, that was what I was trying to say. manga Kumabear. Recommend the manga Kumabear. Graced by the gods. What do VSingers talk about? Because these days I'm just after Iyashike. I'm just after the feel good slice of life with boys just being bros. That's what I'm after these days. Like a good shonen is good, but I feel like I'm kind of past the stage of looking for shonen or even romance animes. Like it's nice if it has romance and it's actually good, you know. But these days, honestly, I'm just after like just after the nice soothing feeling of just watching people being wholesome together. That's what I'm after these days. I don't feel like I want to go into something that is very heart wrenching either. Like, I'm kind of tired. I have to be in a certain mood to get into that. These days my mood is just I want to be soothed, and that's where I go. Anime adapts to its own or skips certain things, which makes some anime viewers confused. Well, that is a fault of the anime, the way it was structured then, because a media should be a thing of its own. Like, okay, you're an adaptation, but it shouldn't be like the viewer shouldn't have to make the homework of reading the manga before understanding you. It's the same for any other adaptation, or like it's not you're not a sequel. You're an adaptation, but you should be able to carry on your own. Like, if I went to you to watch you, I should be able to understand whatever is happening in you, and then maybe it will pique my interest to read the manga, the source material. Hello, Nakura! Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. Have I ever heard NHK Yokoso? Kind of old anime that have a lot of reality, like reflection. I don't think so. That doesn't ring a bell. The reanimated Spice and Wolf. Oh yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. Because I tried to like watch the old one. I haven't gotten around to doing it. But I'm like, listen, if they're making a new version, I guess I'll try it there. Graced by Gods is pretty good. Manga is better, but anime is beautifully isekai boy living a second life after a traumatic past life. Wholesome. Oh, okay. I'll try to check that out. We'll see. But honestly, really, for me, this is really just watching boys being bros, being wholesome bros. I'm not even like, sometimes I do go after romance mangas or manhwas, but I'm mostly for anime. I'm really just after Yashike. Mushoku Tensei. I've heard a lot about Mushoku Tensei, and apparently it's doing the trope of making a despicable protagonist progress. A good job of that, and I feel like that's a very good thing. Like, I've seen a lot of manhwas that were like trying to do that and miserably failing, because they didn't understand that. The whole art about a despicable character is relatability. You understand why they are like that. But that's how I feel it should be. You understand why they are like that. You don't necessarily agree with it, but at least you understand. It makes them compelling to watch, and especially when they progress. doesn't need to be a big jump like, oh, he was despicable but now he was such a good boy. No, it doesn't have to be that. It can be tiny steps, and even I think tiny steps are more realistic in any case. So yeah, I've heard a lot about Mushoku Tensei, but I don't know if I want to go through that. Because I'm not a fan of kids. Even if it's a kid's body but an adult's mind, I'm not a fan of kids. Kids, I love babies and toddlers. Babies and toddlers are cute, but I don't like kids. I don't have the patience. And so I don't know, if I see that it's a kid as a protagonist, I'm like, yeah, sure, but and you can say, oh yeah, but isekai and the regression man was all like that. Yeah, but that is also part of why I don't like kids. You have to spend a lot of time waiting for them to grow up, and like, I find that with time, I my patience grows for some things and lowers for others. So yeah, but it's a good thing that such stories exist. Knows what happens Destiny and me. Mushoku Tensei is one of favorites. Way the MC acts makes it hard to recommend to people. Oh no, but I like I said, I've read a few stories with really despicable main characters, but I liked them because of those really despicable main characters. Because I'm more interested in how I'm more interested in how the author is able to depict them, make them realistic, make them coherent. I'm more interested in the storytelling. I'm not one to go to like if I end up liking a character, that's nice and all, but I'm more interested in, is it the intellectual part, like the way they are portrayed, the way they are progressing through the story. So that's why yeah, but then again, if a character really rubs me the wrong way, I'm dropping immediately. There are many characters in many medias. Even my brother has come to like recognize them when he watches an anime or plays a game, and he's like, I know my sister isn't gonna like this character. So yeah, if a character doesn't isn't in the category was like, yeah, you're just rubbing me the wrong way, I can't, then I'm fine with them being despicable as long as it's well written and well executed. And I find that's something that is rare enough that I would value spending time actually reading or watching such a story. But still, I don't know if I want to go into Mushoku Tensei. I haven't. It's also a mood that has to come. But I'm glad that such a story exists. He's 16 at the start of season 2. Yeah. We'll see. It's something that's coming up a lot. We'll see if I end up watching it. You'll probably hear about it from me. Don't watch Grace Bio because it's a kid. Well, honestly, it depends. Because like I've watched to give you the kind of stuff that I would be glad to watch. I've watched what's the title of that anime? The Yuzuki family's 4 sons, and like 3 of them are kids, but it's really just things that have a chance to just attract my attention are siblings. Family stories, uh, and of course, voices of people are really voices are really like. Mino is voicing, oh, what is this? Umihara is voicing, oh, what is this? Suabe is voicing, oh, Suabe has such a nice voice. Tsuda-san is voicing, oh. Tsuda-san and Suabe-san have such sexy voices. Like, oh my god, what is this? What is this? And then I'd probably check if it was like, I'd probably check, I don't know, it depends. Nakamura, Sakurai, it's more like, does this story look like something that I'd be interested in? The other ones is like, I'll check it out just to hear their voices. If I don't like it, I'll drop. So if is it, I don't like kids, but I don't like kids that act like brats. You know, I don't like the bratty nature of kids. If they are more mature than for their age, I'm fine with them. Mushoku Tensei has some great world building. World building is nice, but that's something that is secondary for me, personally. That's like a nice bonus, but that's not what I'm searching for in a story. Mushoku Tensei in the bad timeline is quite sad. Oh, so there are different timelines too. Manuas does amazing world building in things like Soul Land and Tales of Demons and Gods. Awesome power systems. Yeah. Like, world building is a nice thing, and obviously if it's badly done, it's gonna ruin a lot of things. But that's not the main feature I'm looking for in stories. So I'm like, okay, but that's not the meat of it for me. Does Anya Forger count as kid or Esper? Well, she's a kid. Does it, like, one does not it's not one or the other, both can coexist. It's a kid with Esper powers. Anya is fine, I guess. Fine, I guess. I did watch a bit of Spy Family. It was pretty nice. But I haven't finished it. I haven't finished the first season yet either, so no spoilers. Magical index. I think I got land magical index at some point, but I think I never was quite interested in it because the girl, main protagonist, looks like someone that I have absolutely no interest in. The style, the art style wasn't much my cup of tea either. I'm picky about stuff. I'm picky about stuff. But when I like something, I really like it, and when I dislike something, I really dislike it. There's a few things that are really important to me in storytelling is one of them, and when it's well done, I'm really happy and would gladly recommend something. And when it's not well done, I will shit all over that thing. Just like I've been flaming Genshin for the first hour. But yeah. Well, that's just like I said, it's just me yapping. It's funny that there are people watching me yapping, but hey, if I bring you some entertainment, some good background sound while you're doing whatever you're doing, I'm doing my job. But yeah. I really hope Mino is going to voice Irua. I would make my day. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think I've more or less spoken about the stuff I wanted to speak about. Like I said, today was less of a clear topics that are separated, and more like topics that feed off of each other. So it's just been yapping for 2 hours and a half, almost 3 hours. You haven't played Genshin Impact? I don't recommend it. Don't play it. Don't play it. It seems nice at the beginning and then there's nothing. It's just, it's. You know what? For me, Genshin Impact is the perfect representation of a nicely wrapped package, but it's empty inside. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't really recommend any gacha game either. Anyway, like I say, gacha games for me are worth their price tag. Might I remind you, the price tag is 0. you really get your worth for that price tag. Like, yeah, a bit of fun, maybe for 1 month or 2, if you're lucky. But don't really expect much. The best advice I could ever give is don't expect much. Never expect much. That way, either you have a nice, pleasant surprise, like, oh, this is better than what I expected, which was not much. Sometimes you even get disappointed, even when you expect less than anything good. So yeah, I really don't recommend playing Genshin. There are many other games that are much better. You might as well actually drop money and get your money's worth on other stuff. And there's a lot of middle budget games that are really good too. You don't need to go for a AAA either. And there are a lot of free games that are really good too, without being gacha. Probably do is feed a gambling addiction. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Don't. Yeah, best not to. If there is any inkling of addiction being possible, don't go in. Honestly, I used a bit of my money to buy a skin in Genshin. And like I said, it's not that I regret buying the skin already. Feel like, well, at the time it was like, okay, I haven't. It's like I'm paying for the game. By that time I spent a lot of time playing that game. But I kind of regret supporting the game because I feel like if it didn't do anything that was worth my support. So, what am I doing on that? What was I doing when I was playing? But hey, if you feel like it's doing a good job of entertaining you, giving you some good fun, you have my controller was broken. If you have for disposable funds, do what you it's your money, do what you want, unless, like it's very quick said, unless it's a gambling addiction, don't go in. Don't go in. But it's to each person the choice of going in or not. You have to make your own opinion too. But if you ask me, I don't recommend. I don't recommend it. Even your firstborn was a gacha? What? League has a $5 skin. Okay. Alright. case, I think I kinda did I kinda made talked about most of the stuff I wanted. Oh, well, I haven't fangirled enough about Maino and Ubi-chan and Suabe and Tsuda-san, but you know what? I'll probably find another occasion to fangirl about them. But yeah. Yeah, now that we're talking about that, Tsuda-san does voice someone a $500 kid. Does it cook for you? Does it tuck you to bed? Does 500? Oh god! What does it even do for that price tag? Yeah, Tsuda-san does voice the Ainsleeve in Genshin. I was like, at some point I was like, yeah, I'll come back for Tsuda-san. I don't even know if I'll come back to for Tsuda-san. I don't even know. I really love his voice, but like, I don't know. since I have most of the things I wanted, gameplay wise, in the combat wise, in the Wua, I'm just playing for a bit and then dropping and coming back and dropping and coming back. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, Honkai Star Rail seemed to be pretty fun at the beginning, and then same thing, it just became boring. But so boring, like, oh my god, everything takes forever in that game. It's a game you play mostly on auto. They should have added ×3 ×4 speed, because it's just ridiculous. You spend 15 minutes to farm anything. It's just ridiculous. In Onmyoji, which is the same kind of game, like the same turn-based gacha game. 16 seconds per run. 60, that's the kind of thing you should aim for in an auto game. It shouldn't take 15 minutes. Everything is just boring, and arguably there is more to do in Star Rail than in Genshin. It's still boring. Oh my god, if you're just trying to formulate stuff, and it's just boring. I think it's just a Hoyoverse, Mihoyo, whatever they're going to call themselves next. It's just their formula. If it doesn't work for me, I think. But yeah. Still, wow, games for me are just it should be good fun, but it should also bring you something a bit more, you know, like, well, it depends. Like, there are some games clearly it's just good fun. Oh wait, there's a story too. It's actually a good one. Oh wow. Oh, that's a nice bonus. That was Devil May Cry for me. The Devil May Cry series. Like, you went in just the whole thing is you want to look cool while fighting. But then there's actually a nice little story there. Much more than I expected, and I'm happy. It gave me more than I expected, more than I was asking for. That's the kind of thing I want for games. Like, okay, I came in. Oh, I grabbed Portia, my time at Portia, because I just wanted to play a little thing, a little relaxing game, and then it was really fun. I really liked it. I really liked spending hours on end on that game. It was a nice, pleasant surprise. That's the kind of thing I want. And so, if bare minimum is you at least meet the expectation I have for you, like, I'm picking up Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's kinda, oh, it's fun, but just for one run, and that's about it. Like, okay. Or worse, I have a minimum of expectation, like, oh, this should be nice, and it just feels like I've been spat at the face. Because even the bare minimum isn't there. That's the worst. No, wait. The worst is I had expectations because you set up those expectations by providing me something good, really good, a masterful piece. And then you come and you spit in my face and you just ruin everything. Looking at you, Last of Us Part 2. So yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. Like, the others at least, okay. I had a bare minimum of expectations. But they didn't set up anything good at the beginning. So there's nothing lost apart from a bit of my time, maybe. But Last of Us Part 2, that was the biggest fuck you to my face ever. As far as games go, medias go. Honestly. I hope to never ever experience such a thing again. And it makes you kind of go like, you know, the kids that encounter heartbreak for the first time, for the first crush, their first love. I will never want to love again. Yeah, sure, kid. Don't worry, life is long. But it felt kind of like that. Like it was something that I really held in high regards, and it just spat in my face. So yeah. It makes you not want to believe in much anymore. As far as games go. And it's not just games, like movies also do that a lot of time. Like, the previous movie was really good, but you know the sequel, like movies like this sequel is like, is it gonna be good? Because there are many sequels that aren't very good. Same with books. I've been burned by books, and books takes like there's a lot more that I have to invest in them, time, energy to read it. and it just ends like, the first book of the series was really good, but by the fifth one I should have just stopped at the third one. It happened to me for a few series. Maybe that's why I stopped reading as much. Maybe it's just that the more you discover something in the media, the more your standards rise. Well, at least that's how I see mine went. And well, if I go back to stuff that I read 10 years ago and I found really good, if I read them today, I'd find them mediocre. It happened. For a series of books that I really loved back then, I read it again and I was like, oh my god, this how did I think that this was a masterpiece? This is dog shit. Sometimes it makes you go, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you should just leave things in the past. But same with games, because like I replayed Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones, which I really loved as a kid. And it's not to the point of it was dog shit, but it's not even as good as what I thought would be, with tempering my expectations. So yeah. Try Devil May Cry 5, but gameplay just isn't for. Well, it's Devil May Cry 5 is the top of action games. Like, sure, the very first Devil May Cry was very bare bones, but I don't know of any other game that set up a genre like that is still at the top. That has an entry that is still at the top, like them, like at the top and never even touched. But yeah, it's like any other things. It's if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's like a Souls game. Like, it's not. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Last of Us illustrated movie. No, that thing that will not be named is not it's not a disappointment to the same degree as The Last of Us Part 2 plays, to not raise it to such a level. That thing is just by its existence, it's a disappointment. It's taking the place of something. Like if you got honestly, think about it for one tiny moment. There is a piece of media that is named after your country, but people do not retain anything from the existence of your country from that. They retain other things that have absolutely no bearing whatsoever with your country. What did you remember about that fucking movie? You remembered the penguins. You remembered a lion, a zebra, a giraffe, a hippopotamus. There is none of those things here. None. If you're gonna do something, plus, they fucking use the name of my country. But there's nothing about the country. Yeah, sure, there's a bit of the fauna and the flora, but do you remember them? No, you don't. All you remember is the penguins. And when I search VTuber Madagascar, it's about VTuber that discover that, it's an actual place. Yes, dumbass, it's an actual place. It makes me go like that. It makes me cuckoo. Imagine it. Imagine a piece of media has the name of your country, but they didn't use anything of characteristic features of your country in there. But they use things that have nothing to do with it. And then when people talk to you, they're like, "What? Isn't that a movie?" King Julian. You do remember King Julian the lemur? But but the thing is, it's fine if you don't know of a country. I'm not saying that you should know every country that exists in the world, and especially not mine, which might as well not exist for all its relevance. It's just the goal of using the name, but not owing up anything to it. And then they made sequels that don't even happen there, but still keep the name. It's become a brand name. Absolutely detest it. Absolutely detest it. It is nothing to the degree of The Last of Us Part 2. That's the lowest. The thing that won't be named is the lowest part of hell. That's the lowest part of hell, and it will not be talked about anymore. No more. You will not bully me with that anymore. I won't allow it. Oh yeah, and honestly. No, it's not. I'm not dropping the blame on people that don't know about the country. I'm dropping the blame on that piece of media that failed to make you remember anything about the thing it was named after. That is it. If you're gonna use the name, then you should at least do the bare minimum. Well, they did the bare minimum. They put some ravnal, some baobabs in there, I think. You see, I don't even remember. Yeah. Honestly. And it's a wonder that piece of garbage was made by the same studio that made masterpieces like the Dragon series. At that stage, it's like, yeah, if we're gonna have the two extremes, I'd rather we stayed in the middle. Like, yeah, it's great that we have such highs as dragons, but having such lows too. No, like, that doesn't feel great. That doesn't feel great. Maybe I'd rather a smoother experience. Maybe it's just it's just my age. Maybe I'm at a stage where I just want to be to live a calm life. You have indeed learned more about the country from me than you have from the movie. Oh well. You know what? One of these days we might try to check out things about my country, like things that kind of feel a bit worth checking. Maybe. Well, there's a lot of things that are worth checking in my country. A lot of things that are sad too. Comes with the territory. Comes with the territory of being one of the poorest countries in the world, but yeah. One of those days, maybe. I remember I saw one show where there was that dude that visits countries to test their foods, their typical foods. Maybe we can. Maybe I can try to dig that one out. Or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. See, you've learned more from it, and I don't even make it a point to like talk about my country all the time. Only if the subject is a right reason. English is hard. Only when the subject arises do I talk about it. I'm not named after my country. I even at the beginning I didn't even really think about talking about it much, but because people kept asking what kind of accent I had, I was like, okay, yeah, I come from here. I speak such languages. That is how it ended up like this. But yeah, maybe I should talk a bit more about my country from time to time, so that all of us don't die. All of us dies a bit. No, not dies. All of us goes to sleep a bit less dumb. But yeah, I learn. You learn things. I learn things. Win-win. See? Well. I think that's about it for today. There's a lot we can still expand on other topics that are adjacent to what I've been talking about today, but we'll do that another time. Maybe in another time we'll try to talk more about. Yeah, maybe next time it will be more talks about movies and other stuff that marked my childhood in my country. Maybe something like that. I want to talk about things that you can relate to, but to carry you over to topics that you might not be necessarily familiar with. Maybe we'll see. We're gonna get to Madagascar. We have made it by the fight eventually. No. Well, unless you were talking about just Nova be animatedly speaking about it. 3+ hours talking about just yapping about my country. But like, it's funny because I don't necessarily consider myself as the most patriotic person ever. Like, I am not ashamed of my roots, but it's not. I don't really feel like talking about it much either. I think I'm just normal normal. But yeah, it's something that does bug me, that we are so insignificant. So insignificant that just making a living out of what I'm doing now is such a struggle. But yeah, no. So I've been dealt this set of cards. I'll play with it. This is really not much that I can do. Whining about it is not gonna do anything. So I just gotta work harder. Well, not harder. Work smarter and better. Because if you work hard on something but work in the wrong way, you don't get any progress. Practice does not make perfect. It's perfect practice that makes perfect. Yeah, I don't remember who I heard saying that, but the quote stayed with me. I'm sorry, person who said that. I don't remember who you were anymore. That's bad. I'm sorry. I'm doing the whole. I think it was someone that had an art channel on YouTube, and who was like making kind of roasting videos, but was teaching people about correct ways to do stuff. But I don't remember his name because it was a while ago I watched him. But yeah, if I do remember his name, I'll put it in the comment section or in the description of the video. That reminds me, I have no idea how I'll be if I can put any timestamps, because like last time I was able to put some timestamps because I had clear topics and then parts where we went a bit off topic, but here it was just one long yapping session, so I don't know. Talking about practice, trying to get back to drawing by practicing again to get going at it, to get good at it. Try to look up what good practices are. Yeah, because if you keep practicing the wrong things, it just embeds the mistakes. Which is, by the way, like I have neighbors that had this habit of singing karaoke at very, very loud volumes, disregarding any kind and form of respect they could have for their neighbors' ears, and to simply put, they don't have they are not good singers. They're kinda they're kinda tone deaf, but they keep singing all the time the same out of tune things. And I remember, I don't remember who was it that pointed it out, but I remember they were saying something like, these people are singing those songs every day and they are not getting any good. Of course they are not, because they keep redoing the same wrong things. So if you want to get good at something, that is the advice I can give. If you want to get good at something, figure out the things you are doing wrong, or figure out the good practices if you have not started yet, and apply them. Don't just repeat the same things you did yesterday, because there's a chance that what you did yesterday was not something that will lead you to progress. Don't work harder, work smarter. Yeah, I think that's a common saying, unless it's become a common saying but we don't remember. Well, common sayings are like that. Like, someone said them one day and nobody remembers who, but they became something that everyone has parrots. Well, at least it's a good saying. So yeah. If I work hard but do the wrong steps, obviously it's not gonna work out. There's not gonna be any progress. I'm just gonna get tired working hard because I put in everything, but I'm working towards the wrong I'm working in the wrong direction. So yeah. That's why it's important to have someone point out your mistakes. That's why it's an important thing to have a coach. If you can have one, do get one, if it's at all possible. So okay, I think that's about it for today. This week has been pretty nice. I think I made some progress in all the games. I haven't been a dead weight this week, but I haven't really progressed as well on my other projects, and it's weighing on my mind. My health is so. I'm saying this because if I feel like it's getting worse, I might have to take a break. I really hope I won't, but I have to be careful because it's not pretty when it's not pretty when I get actually sick. But that has been a rare enough occurrence since my mental health has been much better. Still, I don't think I'll be taking a break next week, but we'll see. I hope not. I really hope not. The thing is, the moment I stop, it's like I lose all the little progress I made. Lately, everything has been stagnating. my channels have been stagnating, and it's weighed on my mind because there was a few months ago it was growing nicely, and these days it's practically dead. So I feel like if I stop putting out content, it will all the more just kill all of the momentum, all of the work I've put on. And I feel like I've finally gone through a good rhythm. So yeah, I must not stop. I must not stop. You don't obtain anything by just resting either, but you need to rest from time to time to make sure you don't collapse. It's balance I know well, and yet at the same time now I come to the realization that I'm actually a workaholic when it really comes to something that I like, when it comes to something that I really like. So right now I'm struggling. Lately I've been forcing myself to rest a bit more. My body has been forcing myself to rest a bit more. Lately I've been sleeping a lot, which is can be construed as a bad sign because it means that I'm really lacking sleep. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah. Well, in any case, I'm saying this to give you guys a heads up. On my first year, I used to just not give any signs of life for months. But now that there are actually people that are following, I feel like no, I owe it to you to just be transparent and say that maybe I might have to take a break. If I'm mentally exhausted to the point that I need to take a break, I might actually not be able to put out an announcement or anything. But yeah, no, the ideal is I put out this an announcement. I hope I will not have to take a break, but if I do, I do. But yeah, I hope not. No, but the last week, I think were pretty nice. I hope I can continue doing things like that, but I need to put out more work on the other projects. There is something that should release soon. That is all I can say. But I haven't been able to make as much progress on it as I wish I had. So we'll see how it goes. I was thinking of making next karaoke maybe next week. or if not the week after that. But the thing is, I'm struggling with coming up with the song list, so we'll see how it goes. I know I've said that last week too. I'm still struggling with it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, in any case, I think the daily streaming is good enough. It gives me the illusion that I am working, you know. I'm making something. I'm making some. I'm putting up some work, and so it alleviates my anxiety about not working. Oh God, I've really come to this. So there's that. God, dear God, I've become a workaholic. But yeah. Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, for sure it is. I always say it, but I have a hard time following through myself. I'm absolutely mad at myself for not being able to follow through with my own counsel on this part. But the guilt, I actually feel guilty when I'm resting, because I'm like, I should be working on this. and it's worrying me, because it shows signs. It's just bad signs. So it does not bode well. So I really need to crank things down, but at the same time I can't really. But yeah. We'll work through it. Hopefully. We work through it. Yeah. I'll as much as possible, I'll let you guys know if there are any changes in schedule or anything. But I hope to be able to at least maintain the weekly streams as we've been doing. It started with weekly streams, one stream per week, and then it became 2 streams per week, and now we're streaming 5 days a week. Hey, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by late because of work. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm really happy to see you. I hope you've been well. I'm always like, I hope you guys have been taking care of yourselves. Meanwhile, I'm barely taking care of myself. I should stop that. Doing awesome. Oh, that's great. I am really happy to hear that. But yeah. I'll work on myself because I need to stay alive to be able to continue working. Don't give it to basic needs. Don't let them win. God, oh God. Yeah, no. Fight, sleep, don't hydrate, eat trash food. Oh, come on, Ak. Don't be like that. As much as possible, try to be healthy. That goes for you guys, and that goes for me too. So yeah, I'll do my best to be healthy. As much as possible, I'll try my best. So yeah, no, I'll put up the schedule for next week, probably Sunday, as always, if nothing goes wrong. And what else? Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to release a new thing soon. It's all about the illustration part. Actually, I insist on having everything on a minimum of standard, and I hate that I'm not able to follow through. But yeah, I'll work on it. Hopefully I'll be able to release stuff soon. Some new songs soon. Yeah, in the meantime you'll just gonna listen to me yapping. Every day I've been streaming Monday to Friday these days. Yeah. Hey, but it feels good, it feels I'm working. I'm doing it. Slacker have my nobody cover up for weeks. Still haven't played it. Oh. Well, I am glad for your interest at the very least. Get to it when you can. It's not a well, I'm very glad to hear that someone puts my covers on there to listen to lists like that. Really glad. But yeah. I hope you will like it when you get to finally listen to it. But yeah. The thing is, streaming is fake friend for real. No, I will not consider you fake friend just because of that. I'm not such a materialistic person that our friendship only hinges on you listening to my stuff. God, no. But yeah, you know what? It's a really happy thing for me to know that people like whatever I put up. Like when I think about, for example, when I think about how I like Minato Waiki as a voice actor, as a public figure, I try to check out his things, and if there is some stuff of his that I can buy. Oh yeah, I bought Token Dambu Muso just because of Minato Waiki. It's like, oh, he voices one of the characters. Yeah, but I like Muso games too. And I was like, yeah, I bought it without sale even. And everyone is like, well, I don't know everyone. Like it's not even a super good game or anything. I really just dropped money because it was him. So I don't expect people to do the same thing for me, but I'm always kind of shocked out when I see what people take time out of their days to like, Nova dropped a new thing, I'm gonna check it out. It's kind of a dream, and kind of I don't really want to believe that can happen, because that sounds like such a lofty dream to have. Oh, Neil, thank you so much. You have a notification set. Oh, thank you. I have a few content creators that I actually like. Every time they drop something, I'll always check it out. Maybe not exactly the same day or anything, but I'll always come to check it out eventually. I have a few content creators like that. And I have a few content creators that I really like, but I don't get to check out their stuff, all of their stuff, because they do a lot of stuff, a lot of different things, and I don't necessarily vibe with everything that they do. That doesn't change the fact that I really like them as content creators. So whether I am one or the other, I'd really be happy to find people that can appreciate, can like, can come to like what I have to offer. So it really I will never, I've already said it and I'll keep saying it, I'll never be able to express just how much it means to me that people that you know if you leave a little message, a little comment on cover, I just released something like that, there is a chance that I was feeling down that day because the cover wasn't doing as well as I had hoped, and then seeing a little comment saying, "Oh, this was really good," really just lifts my mood so much. So If you really liked something, and you feel like you want to express it, because it can make a difference for someone out there, especially little creators. It's my hope that I won't be a little insect forever, but yeah. I also insist on playing obscure and old and obscure games, covering songs that are underrated. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to and doing things the way I like them, the way I want them, and not necessarily in the most efficient way possible. Yes, sometimes I'm Kuroshiro efficiency Nova, but other times not so much. So yeah, I live with the knowledge that I'm not necessarily... Sometimes I'm asking myself if I'm just half-assing things and hoping for a miracle. I absolutely despise that idea. I hope I'm not just whining away about things that are in fact in my power to change. But I also what was it? When it comes to artistic integrity, I'm kind of stubborn. Like, I want to do things that I like and not necessarily just things that are popular. And like, it's a good thing. It's great if what I like aligns with something that is popular, because that means there is an opportunity for me to grow. Maybe, I don't know, in numbers, I mean. But yeah, at the same time, I don't think I'd be happy with just that. That's why I stopped making random Genshin shorts that were making 20k views. Because it was, yeah, okay, it's getting views, but that's all. It's not saying people who I am. It's not saying people what I have to offer to them. It's just, it was just making views because it was Genshin. And so I decided to stop doing things like that. If I find a popular... If you find me covering a popular song, it's because I vibed with it. And not so much that it was popular. I've been asked to sing a few songs that are insanely popular, but I just don't vibe with. And so it's just been there on my list of, wow, these were requests, but yeah. Well, we'll see. There are also songs that I just grew to love because I kept listening to them, but I didn't necessarily love at the beginning, so we'll see. Oh, there are people that have their notifications on. You know, that means something. That means something. Well, I hope it means that you like what I have to offer enough that you're interested in seeing what I put up next, and not just because you pity me. Thank you, Neo. But yeah, I already said it. Don't feel forced to do anything, okay? Just do what you want to do. If you feel like you really want to support me a lot and get a comment on every one of my videos, oh, I absolutely I welcome that, you know. Whether you send requests, you can send them whenever. I'll note them down when I receive them, with the condition that I'll note them down, but I can't promise that I'll necessarily work on them, because like I said, for me to make a cover, I need to vibe with it. I need to vibe with the song, and even if I vibe with it, I need to feel like I can bring something to it. I can make it with my own sauce, as they say. Because there are songs like I absolutely love, like for example, I absolutely love Bury the Light, but I've been very hesitant on covering it because I feel like I can't really bring much to it. First, because I feel like Victor Boba's voice is just a perfect feed for it, and I feel like mine might not necessarily be, stuff like that. I might have some faults like that. That that makes it so that, yeah, maybe I will not do a cover of a song request. But like I said, if you have questions, if you have requests, leave them with me, and I do not promise to get to them or necessarily answer, but feel free to to drop them. Yeah, I have a feeling of validation, knowing that all brought joy. Yeah, I don't really like the word validation because I do not like the idea of my own worth being tied to other people's uh other people's damn, what's the word, other people's recognition, no, acceptance. I do not like the idea of my own worth being tied to other people's acceptance. Because that's the whole arc of my life. Coming to the realization that I was trying to please people all my life, doing things that I didn't necessarily like just because I wanted to gain their acceptance, and it just made me terribly miserable. So I do not like the idea of attaching my own value to other people's acceptance, but feeling the joy of feeling like what I did meant something to someone else, I feel is something a bit different. I feel it's something that I want to achieve, something that I want to kind of chase after. I want to bring you something that is meaningful, something that can have value for you too. Like I said, I want win-win. I get to do something I like, and you get something out of it too. That's what I wish. That's what I want our relationship as content creator and viewers to be. And so it's a really nice emotion. It's a really nice feeling when I find that the hard work I've put in has some results, But yeah, we've extended by another 30 minutes. And I was saying a half an hour ago it was over, and I was done for today. But yeah, if you have other questions or requests, you can send them in a stream or in a comment as you wish. I'll jot that down. But I do not promise that I will necessarily get to them. Because if I'm not enjoying myself, the whole thing was for me to enjoy myself first, and for you to enjoy yourself too. So yeah, if I don't think I can bring anything with a song, I probably will not cover it. But at the very least, I might make I might sing it live on a karaoke session or something like that eventually. Since there are times that I have a hard time deciding on the song on the set list. So yeah, at the very least, maybe we can make it in a karaoke if the copyright allows, because the other problem with the karaoke is that some songs are region locked, and that is what eventually leads to the VOD to be nuked. So there's that too. But yeah. So yeah, I'll keep doing this. I'll keep doing this because I really love it. I wish, like I've been considering other avenues to help me make a living, of course. But yeah, it's not because you trying to work hard that it works out eventually. So yeah, my best might not be enough in the long run. I hope it will be, but yeah. Essentially it's been 2 years since I've started this thing. I'm only now starting to feel like maybe we can get somewhere. But you know, it's kind of like when you start a business and you have to like you invested a lot of money but you don't make any return yet in the first few years. So I'm considering it like that. Then we'll see how it goes. If I really need to, well. Yeah, but we'll see. The artist you were thinking of hasn't updated in a year. Oh. Well. You can send your request. Just send me your request. In the way you are comfortable with. And yeah, we'll see. At the very least, I'll try to make it I think I'll try to like get through the requests at the very least through karaoke. Like I said, if it's possible for me to do it karaoke, because that is also a part that has been a bit of a headache when the VOD just gets nuked. I'm already not doing them on Twitch, but yeah, even on YouTube, they just get blocked for everywhere. So I'm being very careful with my song choices, and even then sometimes the songs get blocked afterwards, not at the time when whatever. But yeah, I'll put up the schedule for next week, this Sunday, if nothing goes wrong. Pray for me to be able to finally make some progress on the next song. Plus it's a special one too, so yeah, it's because it's a special one I'm being even more of a pain in my own ass. I wanted things to be as good as possible. So yeah, I'm my own enemy. Most of the time I'm my own enemy. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to release it soon. And what else? We have a lot of games going on right now. We have Resident Evil 4, the remake, Sacred, my time at Portia. So in the end, I ended up just streaming the same games over and over again. I hope you are not getting sick of it. I really like those games, so I'll keep streaming them, but I hope you're not getting sick of them if you're watching my streams. And in any case, aren't you there to just listen to me yap and scream? Just kidding. Praying for me to be healthy. Oh, thank you so much. I am glad to hear you had fun. I am glad. I am very glad. So yeah, I think that will be it. Can't wait to see QQ. The cutest pet pig ever. Yeah, we'll see him for sure next week. So yeah, I'll build up the schedule. I'll try to like move things around a bit so it's not too stale, so it's not too the same games over and over on the same days. Unless I don't know, because like I like moving things around because I don't like feeling that things are getting stale. But I know that there are people who also like things to be to get into habit. So yeah, but yeah. Well, at the very least, those 3 games are there next week, which means there are 2 other days. If I can, one of those days will be karaoke. If not, well, we'll see. At the very least, there are 2 surprise days. Like, we'll see what games or what activities we'll have. Maybe, maybe we'll try to do a live recording. I've been thinking about doing that, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. If I figure out a way for it to work, maybe we'll do that. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see. Not sick of it. Keep coming back. Great. I love to hear that. But yeah, at the very least, these 3 games, expect these 3 games next week, and then the other 2 days, we'll see how it works out. But yeah, I hope you guys are fine with the release of songs lately. I feel like I've slowed down considerably, especially compared to back in March. It was half of the month daily uploads, but that was because of karaoke getting nuked and singing March. Still, I don't think I can maintain that kind of rhythm. Even just the 2 songs per month or something. That in any case, my first goal was 1 monthly song release. So I hope you guys are fine with just that. because I can't sustain I absolutely cannot sustain a daily song release, especially if I want them to be at the meet the minimum standard. I want. Even the bi-weekly one was kinda, I did push myself a bit. But now that I'm streaming daily for 5 days a week, yeah. Well, I put this on myself, but like, what do you want? Do you want more song content, which means taking out more of the streaming content, or? But at the same time, I really like the daily streaming. Like I said, it alleviates my guilt, makes me feel okay, I'm working. It seems easy to do, you know. I'm putting up something daily. You can listen to me up in the background. But yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want to maintain the stream schedule we have now, but at the same time, I don't know if it's already catching up to me or not. Yeah, no. In any case, I'll do my best to stay healthy and not collapse, so that you'll have your weekly dose of Nova. If anyone needs that. Yeah. Thank you guys very much for dropping by. Thank you guys very much for your support, for your interest. I'm really glad when I hear that someone likes what I do. You could say it's kind of a drag, but I'm sure you can understand that it feels great when someone recognizes that what you're doing has been bringing something good to them. So yeah, I'm really glad when I hear that you are having fun, that you like the song, and I hope to keep continuing doing those things that you find fun and to make those songs that you like. So yeah. You needed your dose of Nova. Okay, here was your dose of Nova. Take care of yourselves during this weekend. Hope to see you again in full form next week. We'll see how next week goes, but hopefully it goes just as well. Hopefully my internet gets better. Like, we're able to stream fine, but yeah, it's still kind of annoying because it's weird. It whizzes in and out. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. But yeah. Take care of yourselves. Hope to see you again next week. Okay? Okay. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.